Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to the Lemons iRacing League, starting on time-ish this week. I am Eric Rude, Everything Bagel, 24 Hours of Lemons. Thank you for joining us on another Thursday evening of fake racing on the internet. Tonight, we sit in a weird valley between Seasons 1 and 2 of the Lemons iRacing League, but rather than rest on our laurels in that valley, we've decided to go completely berserk. We're back at Laguna Seca, but as you can see, this is no ordinary Lemons-ish race. We are starting the night with some no holds barred, rules are for other people races. Later we'll finish off the night with silly hats only, no pedal, no wheel invitational for racers using anything except a normal sim racing wheel and pedal. We'll get to the formats in just a moment. For now, be sure to join the conversation on Facebook Live, YouTube, or Twitch, wherever you're watching this. And get ready for something approximating motorsports. Crack open a cold ones, pour yourself some Malort, and make yourself comfortable. It's going to be wild. Joining me, as always, this week are my broadcast partners, Sean Yoder of Nemesis Labs and Ryan Bauer, aka the Bearded Sim Racer.
Good evening, everybody.
I was going to let Ryan talk first, but that was an awkward pause.
Yeah, I was waiting for it too. What's up, Yoder?
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I am literally loading into the session right now because I'm a bad host, and I was actually in the next group's practice session because I wanted to have some fun. This is way too much fun tonight, man.
Oh, yeah.
Way too much fun.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, Eric. I hope you're doing good. There's nothing wrong with going in the wrong session. I've done it before. Always we see a Pro2 eat the tire barrier in the Andretti hairpin.
Yeah, so the format we have for tonight is no black flags at all. You can do whatever you want in the cars. The cars tonight are the Pro2 off-road trucks versus the street stock Camaros. That's pretty much it. Races are only 10 minutes. So it's basically whoever can survive for 10 minutes without getting wrecked. So it's basically Mad Max, the way that probably a lot of people view real world Lemons, but it's not like that at all in the real world. There's some sense of self-preservation. This is full send the whole time.
Yeah, that's going to lead to some good racing, I think, or some quality entertainment.
Oddly enough, I can't get back into the race session, and I'm going to ask our producer, our super producer, to share it if he can.
Yeah, the screen share is on Discord, and you can also go to my Mixer to get the production feed, and I'll give you that link.
I have got it.
All right.
I've got it.
Yep, it is live. I would recommend muting that, and you'll see everything everybody at home sees. So,
Woohoo!
Ooh, shortcut. Nice. Oh, the chrome horn on that 58. That's excellent.
It's just brutal. All of it is brutal, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it would be nice working a whole race without a single black flag.
There's just no reason to throw them here, right? Like, it's just watching everyone virtually die, basically.
Well, there's no real death, so yeah.
I am loving all of that dirt down here in turn one. That's amazing.
I joined the practice session last night for the first time, and when I joined in, I got off of pit road, went down, and got into 2 and 3, and it looked like the Wild West Speedway. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is home. This is
perfect.
amazing.
It's exactly what we were going for. It's great. Thank you to everyone for participating, making this happen.
There goes an Alameda whipsnake, endangered species.
Yeah, Rude's mic is muted. Just make sure he knows that.
The run up to the corkscrew is brought to you by All Your Clag Are Belong to Us.
Ah.
Hey, that awkward moment when you realize your mic has been muted for the entire time.
Oh, not the entire time. Not the entire time. Just for a couple minutes. You're good.
Just for the opening 5 minutes. Yeah.
Nah.
Screaming obscenities in Slovenian.
Exactly,
this corkscrew is amazing, by the way. Wow. That street stock is.
Just drove through a Camero coming down the corkscrew.
He gone.
That is not just the corkscrew. That is the Leroy Jenkins Memorial hairpin. Or corkscrew, I'm sorry. Change my notes there.
Oh, this is incredible.
Oh, brutal.
Wow, that's a good crash.
Do a
So,
barrel roll.
Wow.
No holds barred, no rules. There's no black flags issued for anything. So it's pretty much free for all.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure whose truck that is, but I love the fact that it's not just the chrome horn; it's literally chrome.
Right?
It's Brett
That was
Sloman.
that's Sloman, yeah, and he was in the heart of that nightmarish disaster that didn't kill anybody.
That's shiny and chrome like Nux from Mad Max, by the way.
Exactly. When you go to Valhalla, so in the actual Lemons races, we tried in the immediate aftermath of Fury Road to get this silver sort of non-toxic food coloring spray paint you could put on birthday cakes and stuff, and do the shiny and chrome Valhalla penalty. It turns out, I think that stuff's a little bit toxic when you spray it on somebody's face.
Just a little bit.
I think that there's a certain amount of toxicity there. Not that we stopped using it, but yeah. So the team had to come in and acknowledge that that Immortan Joe has sent them to Valhalla. Oh, nice sliding on the roof there.
Did you use the actor grade, or did you literally just go to like and get chrome in a can?
No, it was spray food coloring silver. It was apparently intended. I don't know, when you're having your kid's birthday party and you want to spray paint the cake silver, I guess? Question mark? I don't know. Allegedly non-toxic, but people were getting some kind of funny hallucinations and stuff, and it seemed like maybe there was a certain level of petrochemical excitement going on.
It was the THC chrome that you had. It was perfect.
Well, that costs a lot more.
The
And actually, that
brings
brings
right there.
That brings up
Excellent.
the subject. When we race in Colorado or Washington State, which are the stoniest states, we race in. When people give us home baked treats, which happens a lot, people give us cookies and cakes.
Is that,
we have to very specifically say, all right, are these enhanced? I mean, we're not against that, but we want to know.
I'm transfixed by the Sir Mix-a-Lot truck. I believe that's Gary Mitchell of the Knox Vegas Lowballers. My hoopty. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Rolling.
And Sir Mix-a-Lot himself, I was looking at this. He's doing an awful lot of craft work posts on his own social media these days, because apparently craft work was his biggest influence.
Who knew?
So very impressed. I mean, I
Also
guess a
a
lot
car
of those
guy.
early rappers.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom chop.
He's a big ham radio guy too. Apparently, he's seriously into it, which is a real kind of old dude thing to do. But he's not young.
Nothing wrong with
I had
ham
a ham
radios.
sandwich for lunch. Does that
What
count?
else we got livery-wise? There's a two-car
Very
team of
good.
Rick and Morty, by the way. That's Chris Bolin and Dane Volk. One of them is Rick and one of them is Morty, which is pretty great.
I found
Yep,
Morty.
there's-
I found Modi.
Also, part of
Oh.
this race is listening to them talk about how great that show is.
And
why
what?
it's
And who
funny.
was the
Oh
who's
my
the who's the
God.
other one besides Christopher Bowen?
Dane Volk. That was a fine wreck on the way up through turn 6 there.
We
I'm
may
disappointed.
actually see a first in iRacing tonight, and a virtual incident causing an actual death.
I have
This is
found
just
Rick.
Carnage.
Rick
man.
is getting airborne in the corkscrew.
We could do a thing where someone has to drink a shot for every crash.
Bish. Where's
That
Bish?
would be an actual death.
Yep. Agreed.
Bring Bish in. He's got this. Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. Oh my God, this is wonderful.
Chris Chrome also has a message for Judge Phil on his car, by the way.
Oh, I don't see it.
He did not appreciate being thrown under the bus in front of Albanians last week, so
Oh yeah. Well, if they actually come and killed him, no. Yeah.
but he wants
Judge
everybody to
Phil.
know it's Judge Phil's idea.
Just
Email
for
it.
the record, some might say it was my idea, but I'm not one of them.
There you go.
So if any of you Albanian gangsters are hearing this right now, yeah. If you're hearing this right now and you're oiling up your AKs, just remember, I live in Chicago with these guys. Yes, that's it. That's pretty good.
That is really
I think that we're talking about angry Albanians on the internet, and that actually most Albanians are not real excited about Inverhoja and his legacy of 400 million concrete pillboxes full of mosquito water.
Probably true. There's the Murder Hornet, by the way, Nate Schleveen.
Oh yeah, that's going to be. I mean, if we were actually having real races now, probably have half the teams would be Murder Hornet themed.
He's lost the hood, but it is the full Murder Hornet nose to tail. It's pretty great.
You know, speaking of Inverhoja, I mean, yeah, I'm a fan, of course, but the Joseph Broz, aka Marshal Tito of Yugoslavia theme that we've got in Colorado, the guys actually gave me a couple of like 3-foot diameter vinyl stickers of Inverhoja smoking a cigarette in a pipe, like he's stuck the cigarette into a pipe made to take a cigarette. It's a very stony looking accessory. So my garage door, the inside of my big garage door, is covered with these now. So whenever I'm in my garage working on stuff, I've got Marshal Tito and his pipe cigarette apparatus watching me.
This is Lemon's favorite Soggy with a tribute to the Killer Zombie, famous Lemon's car.
Wow, there's a lot of broken trucks here. How many did we start with?
So there's 62 in the field, and I counted about 48 trucks and only 40.
Airborne.
Oh my god! That was higher than the tire bridge.
That went through it.
Press
I was
for the
watching that.
spectators on the bridge.
Yes, yeah.
That was a spectator killer right there. I mean, that would be one of those makes the nationwide news incidents. I just saw a wreck in pit lane, which we discourage in real racing.
Yep, still no rules. I love this.
Yeah.
I love all of this.
I'm disappointed that you can't leave the racetrack and drive around in Monterey.
Randy Bish in actual server says raise hell, praise Dale. That's right.
That's right. What does Bishop's car look like? I didn't get a good look at it.
Let's take a look.
There's Anton Lovett, I believe, there in the brown and white.
There
car
we go.
truck.
Oh, it's a solid red.
Oh, it's a Canyonero.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, if he, the front of it might have. Yeah,
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. There we go.
Unexplained fires are a matter for the courts.
It seats 37? Is that?
Oh,
Seats 35.
Oh, good crash. Speaking of real deal lemons racing that will ideally come back pretty soon, I'm pushing pretty hard for somebody to make their car into a root vegetable. And I mean recognizable as a rutabaga or potato or whatever from across the track. I don't mean just make it textured like a potato. I mean, you've made a giant armature. You've made a 20-foot long, 12-foot tall potato with eyes that if you looked at across the track would be a recognizable root vegetable. Gotta see that. Imagine getting passed by the potato or the rutabaga. Turnip.
The potato, it's not just a camera phone.
Well, I mean, you could do a carrot if you wanted to be more aerodynamic, but I still think the potato, like I said, I'm putting this out there. A team that wants to build, wants the IOE and the org choice and probably all the other trophies. If you made a car that, when looked at from all the way across the racetrack, looked like a gigantic potato, no doubt about it, you would be heroes. We would never forget you. We'd never stop talking about you, and we'd just give you all the trophies. So make it happen.
Eric O'Brien just called it the Rutabaga, and now that has to happen.
Yeah, Rutabaga. In fact, we've got 2 teams preparing Vegas for racing in Colorado, including one where we have a Lemons Romance, where a team that has a Vega, one of the members fell for a guy who has a Pinto, and so we've got Pinto and Vega couple now, and they've sort of got that rivalry going on. It's like, man, imagine the arguments about what's better, the Pinto or the Vega at the dinner table, you know?
Matthew Cox going for the Rutabaga needs to have Team Spudnik to compete with.
That's good.
I'm just saying, you just build like a steel frame, cover it with the paper mache that you make with that wallpaper, that kind of semi-waterproof wallpaper, so with Fix-All, and paint it properly. And you use the same kind of black screen stuff that Speedy Cop used on the sideways VW bus to have some strategically placed windows. You would have a recognizable potato. You need eyes on it if you want a potato. It doesn't have to be a potato, though. If you prefer the rutabaga, I mean, we're all about that. You could have some dirt clinging to it, you know.
This is
imagine if you rolled it.
Discussion that you're going to get during the middle of a Lemon's iRacing race. Looks like warm-up's just about coming to a close. Jordan
These are the
Dunn.
things that really matter, though, Eric. I mean,
that's valid. Jordan Dunn in the comments asking, what if we make all our cars root veggies? Jordan Dunn with the Knox Vegas Lowballers, who have about 11 Lemons cars. So
They could do that. The Knox Vegas Lowballers could do any root vegetable they wanted, and it would be fast. So yes, do it, guys. But don't forget that special engine idea we talked about. I mean, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but they've got an idea for an engine that will basically kill you when you see how cool it is.
excellent. That looks like the Adidas shoe up on the fourth in the grid. Looks like so. I forgot when I programmed this race that it totally inverts the grid from the first race. So winner Dave Carpenter should be at the very back, and the person who finished DFL will be on pole.
Oh man, what a burn! That's like when we grid the Class C cars on Sunday instead of the real racers. Man, the butt hurt from that is audible over several time zones, but we find it very satisfying. The only limitation is you have to have enough Class C cars to make it to have 10, which means it has to be one of the bigger races, and 10 of them have to be running.
Worth pointing out that this is the second of 2 races in this group. They had an earlier race, and about a third of the field was out with crushed cars on the pace lap. So this warm-up lap might be slightly exciting.
Oh, I like the Duff Beer Camero. They've got kind of a wild psychedelic pink going now. Let's take a look at the Duff car at some point.
Some talk about the Beetle. Bring a Beetle.
I'm all about the Beetle.
I mean, people have time to build this right now, and you could make it so the whole apparatus involving the root vegetable lifts off, and so you can work on the car, and then you slap it back on, and you've got the 20-foot tall rutabaga going out there making passes. I mean, it would be faster than something.
I love the passing the pace car here. Not just hitting it like the movie that I can't place for some godforsaken reason.
Talladega Nights?
Days of Thunder.
Maybe.
No, Days of Thunder.
Yeah, when you go back out there, I want you to hit the pace car. Why? Because you hit every other thing out there. I want you to be
It's the
perfect.
baseball movie where you hit the mascot. That's right. Never mind.
Well, the truck on pole right now was just driving inside the pace car. So
Actually, we should
counts.
find a way to have mascots in costumes getting a run over on the track. That would kind of combine the two.
It's like
We'd have the furry lobby would be up in arms.
No, you get like the Michelin Man, the Bibendum guy out there, just getting splattered by it.
I feel like Lemons without the furries, I think, ruins a lot of our core audience.
I think if you looked at the Venn diagram of Lemons racers and furries, there'd be a lot of overlap.
Frighteningly true.
Do we need to put that together?
No, I mean,
Where's the spreadsheet?
the kind of person who's willing to choose a spirit animal and wear a costume of it is also the kind of person willing to turn their car into a giant rutabaga. So
Pace car's in. Here we go.
that's good things.
Green flag is out.
All right, and
Green.
they need to get some momentum going so they can crash fast, because right now they're kind of bunched up.
I bet turn 11's probably a
Here we go.
right now.
I bet they're going to crash fast. I bet we don't have to worry about that.
All right, here we go. Yeah.
Oh my
That-
God! Coming off the final turn.
There we
Oh!
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that's
Chris
a good one.
Chrome using the wedge shape of the Camaro at its finest right there.
And then, behind them is a lot more carnage. I've actually been following Anton Levitt's truck, and wow, yeah, there are a lot of them disappearing.
Yeah. This is art. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like Saki upside down.
so you guys missed out on it, but back by one of the bridges, there was I think about 18 cars just
There we
hit the
go.
bridge.
That's a good turn 1 right there. Turn 2, I suppose.
This
That
is like
calls
the
for it.
end of all of our other races, but this is lap 1.
But it's
turn
actually
2.
the race. Yeah.
This is fantastic. I need to change drivers that I'm following because this one just died.
You'll have that.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
On board with Warren Van Noos,
Revving it to
Running a
7,000 RPM. Always
running
good
a
idea.
blistering 80 miles an hour.
You know, what if Van Halen had been called Van Noos instead? Imagine the logo.
I
Yeah, you can't really
bad thoughts.
That's
Really bad thoughts.
That's Jordan Teal in the Dunder Mifflin car in front of Warren right there.
Oh, he junked me earlier. He literally in the practice session.
Yep.
Yeah, he literally was just like, nope, right in the corkscrew.
Corkscrew time, baby.
Flipped me. No
Leroy
remorse.
Jenkins Memorial Corkscrew there.
Oh,
Full
there's about to be
yeet.
some-
Full yeet.
There's about to be a
Oh, there we go.
memorial. Yep.
Yeah. They should actually have graves at the spot where they die in this game. Just it pops up, and you could customize your gravestone.
Excellent.
Wow,
Let's get a spec map on our
asking,
gravestone.
Okay, there's
Oh
gonna be some
my
crashes
god,
here.
this is amazing.
Did
Yeah,
I
here we
miss
go.
anything? He says. I think you probably yes and no.
Nah, you didn't miss anything.
It'll be like this for the next hour.
It's just it was really, really a boring opening sequence. Nothing.
Oh man, is that the Met show?
Is this
Yep, that's
the
James Rucker, one of the
Okay.
show guys, as Amanda Tully and the Cheshire Cat there gets dumped at the start finish line.
I'm actually back to following the chrome Brett Sloman truck on my iRacing itself, which is always entertaining.
Fantastic truck. Brett,
Oh,
always
we've got-
entertaining.
We have inside outside pro trucks going into turn one, trying to split a Camaro, like make a Camaro sandwich. That was going to get fun.
Jay, why aren't we doing this? This seems like the thing that we should be doing, right?
I'm just disappointed by the lack of fire in iRacing. I mean, can they add some more flames? There's a little bit of smoke, but even that doesn't look all that toxic. Oh, jump over the Camaro. Brett just jumped over a Camaro real good.
I have to cough. Breakfast.
There you go.
You know,
Well,
you say
yeah.
that, but I feel like it's way more lemony to take something that was meant to be very realistic and sim racy and to just absolutely ruin it. I think
Well,
that's on brand for us.
I think that once we've got the alternative controllers, and I got to say, I'm most excited
Whoa.
about the team.
Puntarino, Jimmer?
I'm most excited about the team that took the 90s Ford HVAC controls and turned it into a controller. This is going to be good. I guess you go heat cold for your brakes and then fan speed for steering, maybe?
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
unclear.
It's the other
we'll-
way around.
Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay.
we'll have a good visual representation of that later.
Yep. We have photos to go with all
All
that
right.
stuff, so it's going to be
Good.
great.
I mean, I'm just trying to give a little sneak preview of when we get to the
Audio
the
visual
real-
aids. Oh, pile up in the last corner.
Should mention
Yeah,
this race is brought to you by Existential Dread because, oh god, this race isn't real. Is any of this real?
Does Existential Dread actually pay for sponsorship? That'd be pretty good.
It's an unusual arrangement.
This is going to be great.
I
3
saw
wide
them
into the
open.
hairpin.
I saw-
Oh god. Oh
I saw
god.
Existential Dread open for Bad Brains several years ago. They were really good.
I mean, I'd like to be sponsored by Vague Sense of Unease.
That's the brand of mayonnaise I use.
My dream job, just to let you know, was I wanted to be a pinball machine designer.
Is that
when
Randy
I was a
Bish
kid.
on his
That was
lid?
gonna be my pinball machine. It was the Vague Sense of Unease pinball machine.
Oh, but Gravedigger
there
has
goes
done a barrel
Dennis
roll.
Anderson.
Oh no, Gravedigger is still tumbling.
Not
Yeah.
even. Didn't
Yes.
even try to avoid.
Ride
Hey,
it
he's
out.
back. He's back.
Let's
That's
go.
Wow! In real
Dennis
life,
Anderson.
Even try to
Amazing.
avoid. Just
in real life, he would have been
Freeman
just
Laboratory. Yes.
a grim memory in the minds of the paramedics. But in this, it's like, remember that time we were at Laguna and that dude got torn into 19 pieces? Well, yeah, it doesn't happen here.
Oh, it's so brilliant. Just so brilliant.
I mean, I have to wonder, like, why would you choose a Camaro for this? I mean, other than the fact that it's a Camaro.
That's right,
I'm starting to
Speedster.
question my choice of like wanting a car in real life. Like I think I want a pre-runner all the things now.
Yeah. DMR87
You
on
could take
Twitch. I agree.
Actually, a pre-runner Toyota Tercel wagon would be pretty good.
Ooh,
Have you
Tercel.
seen? I just saw today
62
someone hung a
horsepower.
new Beetle body on a Can-Am UTV.
Yes, the Beetle Can-Am, was it UTV? That looked amazing.
Dear
That would-
sweet baby Jesus, give me.
Ooh,
Why
number
not do that with an
13
86
for your
Hyundai
viewing pleasure.
Excel?
Do it, dude. Whatever you want, man. It's.
Excel, man, that's the car.
If I can
I'm
find
sitting in a Hyundai Excel seat right now.
it. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember
I
that.
really am.
Early one or late one?
Oh, 87.
Oh, that's early. Yeah, that's the ones that they averaged about 30,000 miles before they died. So you must have picked it up a long time ago.
I picked it up I built this chassis in 1991. I mean, in the spirit of Lemons, I broadcast from the chassis that I built in 1991.
Okay, I'm going to say because most of the first-gen Excels did not even make it to age 5. Hyundai gets the award for most improved car company by a giant amount because of the wretchedness of the early Excel. I'm going to put it out there that the Excel was worse than the Yugo, a lot worse.
Oh, yeah, we were taking the car to the junkyard. We were taking it to the scrapyard, but the seat was okay, and I built this chassis out of scrap lumber and a hand truck wheels that were out in the shed in the back of the car lot that I was working at.
Was this back when you had your sim racing rig based on a 6502 processor out of an Apple II?
It was a Packard Bell.
Packard Bell.
Packard Bell 200 megahertz.
OP Bell.
Man, I remember when we was racing them in
OP Bell.
2002.
I was rolling the 3FX card, and you know we were up on the Hawaii and the Kali, and we had $700 a month phone bills because we were stupid.
Oh, so that was actually was that the modem where you put the phone into the cradle?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Jeff Glucker here in the Camel Toe truck. He looks pretty good out there. Yeah, I'm impressed, Jeff. Former of mine at Hooniverse.com.
If I were a PR employee of a major car company, I would not hesitate to give him a press car. Actually, I would, but
yeah,
I would hesitate to give any automotive journalist a press car. I guess you kind of have to, though, don't you?
I remember the first time when I first got the gig at Roush, and the first time some press guys came to pick up a Stage 3 Mustang. It was like 1996, and I can't remember what magazine it was, but they brought it back in slight disarray, I'll just say. Like, they literally destroyed it.
So here's my holy grail on press car stories is I had a PR person who I can't mention say they had a press car get used in a bank robbery. So, like some journalist's roommate borrowed the press car, took it on a bank robbery, and then gave it back. And they were able to find it because it had manufacturer plates, and those are like 3-digit numbers, right? So they're pretty easy to identify. But I'm not able to get this person to tell me what manufacturer it was and what kind of car it was. I'm very disappointed by that because a bank robbery in a press car would be pretty incredible.
Can we get a good look at Kevin Meebs, Moebs's car? He has a Doom-themed truck. Doom, the classic DOS game.
Oh, not Doom, the tedious Frank Herbert novels, then,
no,
right?
God, no. Yeah.
I think the 17th sequel in the series was the best one.
Fear.
Oh, that's pretty good. I played Doom back in the day. In fact, I got to say, I played the original Castle Wolfenstein on the Apple II in the early '80s, which was
the Vector version.
Two-dimensional. It's two-dimensional. I believe it was not Vector. Actually, I think it was just, it was the monocolor. And the second one, you could kill Hitler, who just marched back and forth in his conference room going, Heil, and then everyone else would go, Heil. It was one of the greatest video games of all time, like circa 1983.
That soundbite is never going to come back to haunt you, Phil. Never, ever.
Anyway, looking at that YouTube,
Apple's line down the corkscrew just there.
That was fantastic.
Not the Apple Wolfenstein 3D, which is the one everyone thinks about from the early 90s. I'm talking 10 years earlier when it was on Apple II, and it was basically like a two-dimensional.
Yeah, so it was flat screen. It was green stick figures.
Exactly. Stick figures.
That rear view that you just showed me was like my entire vision for this race is the Camero spun in after the corkscrew and just waiting for the trucks to barrel over the hill to murder them like some kind of a horrible, horror movie from the 90s. Just that stereotype was right there. Just...
kind of reminds me of in Raising
Arizona. There it is.
Like in Raising Arizona, he's talking about, and then he was walking down 3 Mile Road with a mother grabbing head in his hand. It's kind of like that deal.
The Leroy Jenkins Memorial Corkscrew.
This is wonderful.
He's continuing to get spun around.
This is everything.
Can you kill the dead? Apparently you can. This calls for another shot of bribe scotch.
Apparently,
I'm gonna need to go make another gin in between this and the next one. That was just great.
I would guess we have a demo derby either on the front straight or into 2 at the moment.
Boy.
It's like M. Porter, our winner. I don't even know who that is. I'm really good at my job.
Oh, are we supposed to be paying attention to that? Because I never do at the real races.
Actually, M. Porter never started. It looks like Simon Thorpe of the Bernal Dads came up with the win there. So,
you know, we'll give you a little inside information about how our actual flesh and blood lemons races are run. The officials running the race don't even pay attention to the leaders until about 2 hours from the checkered on Sunday.
Oh,
it's like, oh god, then we got to figure it out.
That was some good head-to-head collision there, and the hairpin.
So the survivors are not going to kill each other? Yes, okay.
Yep.
So in iRacing, if you're on your roof, do you still have any control input that makes a difference?
I mean, everything still works.
With the Pro 2s, you can sometimes get them flipped back over.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. That blue and red. Oh, there we go.
Wow, there's
the truck on
its side just sort of doing sideways donuts. Is
RC trucking.
That is Randy Bish.
It's a total.
Randy Bish.
It's a total.
Is he drinking this race or is he not drinking?
You just asked the most rhetorical question.
Okay, never mind. I think he's having a couple. Or is he just holding his breath and spinning around in real life? That's the same.
Drinking. Is he breathing?
This is good. I think he's sniffing Scotch Guard, actually.
He's covered head to toe in that silver body paint that you were talking about.
The mud flaps or whatever those are kind of hypnotic in this view. How long will it do this before the sideways engine runs out of lubrication? Well, here we go.
It is a wet sump system on these, so.
That's Pat Mulry dumping him there, ruining our fun. Thanks, Pat.
All right, we'll remember that.
We'll remember that. So we're going to have another race coming up of this same nature. We're going to have Joel. I don't know what just happened.
He just disappeared into downtown Monterey.
To Yolo County.
Well, the Yolo County is pretty far away. That's where UC Davis is.
Exactly.
Yolo County.
That's 120 miles away from Monterey. I think he went into the Pacific. I believe the Pacific Ocean is near at hand.
It's that way. Yep.
And by the way, I'd like to give a shout out to the Moss Landing Pick and Pull, which is quite nearby. Really good junkyard. If you want to go to a junkyard that doesn't get hit that hard by the eBay sellers, Moss Landing Pick and Pull, quite close to Laguna Seca. Oh, why did you stop it right before the head-on crash?
I didn't, actually. The driver got out, yeah.
Okay.
Perfectly timed, actually.
Yeah. See if we can figure out who that was. We can rewind.
Matthew Cox in chat, not just F. WTF.
Mm-hmm. You said it.
Yep, that's ITD Scott saying that he was playing with his RC truck about an hour ago, and that gassing it up when it's on its side is definitely a technique to put it back on its wheels. Doesn't really work with the Pro2 truck, but you can try.
Looks like a replay here of somebody being sent into low Earth orbit.
Oh. For shame, Brian Trainer.
Brian Trainer, guy who
For
should know
shame.
better.
For shame.
It turns out that the slanted front of the Camaros is actually a perfect launching pad for the trucks. So,
well, a two-car team with a Camaro and a truck could work together to get the maximum air. Although, does the software limit how much air you can get?
it freaks out at some point. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened when the one hit the Cooper Tires bridge there.
Okay, so my feature request here would be body parts of humans and vehicles, more fire and realistic, into orbit air.
I still say the idea of putting Formula cars side by side, guardrail to guardrail, like right before key areas of the track, facing counter race, and just
I think
Robbie Gordon level launching trucks off Formula cars would be wonderful.
bicycles and cement mixers.
I'm trying to find things that are actually in the software.
Well, feature requests, you can ask for the moon.
Okay.
I'm asking for that. In fact, I think, I've always wanted to do. Well, no, I haven't wanted to do, but I thought it would be funny to talk about Lemon's horse racing, $50 horses, but any quadrupeds like Great Danes or cows, But Peter would be all over our ass about that. But virtual animal races would be just fine. Giraffes, whatever. Imagine the repairs, like heart transplants in the paddock.
The 24 hours of goat simulator.
Well, I mean, theoretically, you call it horse racing because it's the generic term for quadruped racing.
Have you seen Goat Simulator? We could literally do it.
Is there such a thing?
Yes, there is.
Like you simulate. Is this like a New Zealand thing where I don't want to know more?
No, dude, it's just
Okay.
just walking around. It's just
you're just a
walking
goat.
around doing stuff.
Can you hit a key and eat grass?
It's a goat simulator, of course.
Okay, can you poop on command?
I'm sure. I've never really played it. I just know it exists.
No, I know the future has really arrived when I can simulate a goat.
Yeah, that's the next product from coming soon from Nemesis Lab.
I guess we should be talking about the incredible dominance of the winner here. Okay, I got to switch races, don't I? Okay, hang on.
Yep. So we're heading to the second race here. Should point out this is a good time to talk about our final race for the night, which is going to be the Silly Hats only, no pedal, no wheel invitational. That's for racers who are using anything but a normal sim racing wheel and pedal setup. Among those setups is a handful of people who have a PlayStation or an Xbox controller, hooked up to a crappy old laptop. We'll see how that goes. But there's some really, really, really esoteric stuff, including MIDI controllers, an Etch-a-Sketch.
The Etch-a-Sketch was pretty excellent.
The Etch-a-Sketch is going to be great. There's a 300ZX climate control system.
Oh, I thought that was a 90s Ford. That was 300ZX. Okay.
It's a 300ZX, yeah.
It looked like a very Fordish typeface on the control. That's why I thought it was a Ford.
Yeah.
It also looked broken, which is also why I thought it was a Ford.
Mm-hmm. This is weird. There's nobody in this session.
So what is this? Which race is this?
This should be a same set of races.
Okay.
Let's see here. There was some insinuation in the comments that perhaps iRacing is not having a good time at the moment.
Well, we choose to do these races on the day they do their major updates.
That is true.
Thursday.
Yeah.
That's why.
Which is very lemony. That's like
week.
That's like you go to the track on the day they decide to pave it, and then by paving I mean in the case of a certain track in Nevada, painting it black. No, we came to a race at this particular Nevada track. They're like, "Oh man, we have repaved it for you." And we went out there and realized, no, they have spray painted it black, including the weeds and the piles of horse poop, because there's wild horses there. So we realized that this is a lemony kind of an operation, except we're a little more competent than that.
Like, there's only about 10 people in here.
I don't know which one I'm supposed to be on.
I sent you a link,
I
Judge Phil,
resorted
if
to
you'll
just
click
watching
that.
Ryan's feed.
Yep. If you
Okay,
go
I'm just gonna
to,
watch that.
yeah, and I just sent you a link to Judge Phil if you want to see all the everything. Or you can view the Discord feed.
I'll just view the Discord feed. I mean, I've got the iRacing app going. I'll figure it out.
It does seem like we've maybe broken iRacing again, which not atypical.
I'm completely shocked. All right, it's gonna be great. Anyway, let's go back to the talk about the goat simulator. This is an aspect of the future that I was not aware of. Some things about the future were quite disappointing, but the fact that you can be a goat sounds pretty good. Are you a goat like in a nice field, or a goat in like a slaughterhouse?
You're a goat in multiple situations. It's literally it's free run.
Can you be a goat in like a typical American office cubicle workspace?
I'm sure you can. I mean, you can be a goat.
All right.
A goat in the city. You could be. Yeah.
When we were imagining the future 30 years ago, I would not have predicted the goat simulator. So there we go. It's a way that the future is better than we imagined it would be. Some things about the future have been disappointing, I have to say.
if you were a goat, where would you want to be?
I'd want to be in a nice field, probably like the goats that they have at Sonoma, at the track. Sometimes they have sheep, sometimes it's goats to eat the weeds. They look like pretty contented goats. I would not want to be the goat.
A petting zoo goat?
I don't think I would want that. You'd have little kids grabbing your face, and you probably get slaughtered if you butt one of them.
Okay, we're getting Goat Simulator info from the chat here. Goat in the city, you can't poop, but you can ram, lick, and baa.
So you could compulsively baa the whole time.
You just stand there, and everyone that walks by, every car, everyone that walks by, bah, bah.
Is it kind of like Grand Theft Auto then? Can you be the goat that hijacks a car and drives it?
Grand Theft Goat, man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, then. So let's get back to the talk about the giant root vegetable on the track. I want to emphasize, like, those of you who are locked down now, you want to build your project car, you think, well, man, maybe what I should do is get a nice E46 and I'll dominate. No. Get whatever car you've got and build a giant armature on it and get the fix-all-based paper mache and make yourself a giant turnip or rutabaga or potato. And I mean giant. I don't want to have it where you have to look at it and kind of squint at it and say, what is that supposed to be? I want it where somebody who's never been to a race before looks at it all the way across a big track like Thunder Hill and says, man, that's a potato out there. That's what I want. Like, remember how spectacular the trailer was when Speedy Cop was racing it? I want the same effect, but a potato.
The trailer was one of the most... It was the second most mind-boggling car.
I mean, and what made it work was the fact that it was recognizably a camping trailer from a mile away, and that's what I'm saying with the root vegetable thing. I don't want to have... like I had the team that drove a Cheetah E30 that they decided to make it into a 69 Chevy Nova. It's like, oh, that sounds good. They did it by putting Nova badges on it. It's like, okay, come on, you got to rebody it and make it into a Nova. So the same thing applies to the rutabaga. I don't want you to have like this sort of theoretical rutabaga influenced car. I want it to be a rutabaga expert would look at it from all the way across a large racetrack and identify it as the object of their obsession. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. Well, I want the listeners, I know you do because you're that kind of guy, but I want the listeners to get it, that when they're locked down, they should start making these things. You can't get yeast, so you can't make bread, so you might as well make the giant rutabaga out of your car.
I agree with that as well.
Instead of sculpting a rutabaga, what if you just like sheet metal screwed 4,000 rutabagas to the outside of the car, a la art car?
Well, again, what we like is when you can recognize it for what it is all the way across a large racetrack. So that makes the potato superior, or the rutabaga, to that. I mean, yeah, I like that idea. That's fine. But I mean, the gluing this stuff all over your car thing, it can only go but so far. But the car that looks at first glance to a person that's never been to a race before like an object that does not belong on a racetrack. I mean, you could do a Victorian, like a nice 1890s Queen Anne sort of style house, something like that, like a house. That'd be good. But I think those are a little more angular. At least when you're doing a root vegetable, you could have like an aerodynamic, pointy kind of end. Well, if it's like a turnip, it has a pointy end.
What about in honor of Jay's counter? Has there ever been a gourd car?
Did you have a gourd on his counter?
Yeah, you missed that live video where he had a very dong-like gourd.
Oh, that's his bong. Yeah, he smoked.
No, not a bong.
String. No, he smoked string in that.
Excellent.
Yeah, you get more high off string than you could ever. Actually, folks, don't smoke string, please. I was joking.
Hey, look, we're about to start a race. Looks like they're gridding up now.
Okay, I'm going to choose one of these at random.
How many cars or trucks are in this one?
This is a very small field. Looks like there's 16. So we're going to go from this.
These are the hardcore IOE type racers here. This is going to be good. There's going to be a lot of full lock to straight ahead to full lock to into the wall racing here.
We're going to go from this right into our next race, which is the No Pedal, No Wheel Invitational. And we'll give you some of the information on those as we're going to be in that practice session for a little bit. We'll be able to ride along with some of the people doing things like driving blindfolded while someone tells them where the corners are. The MIDI controller that will be playing a song as he goes. Each one of the inputs does turn left, turn right, shift, all of those things.
Is it actually a song that we can hear?
No, it's just like like D D D D D D D.
I don't know. I found the one with the
like
rock,
a Trog's song then.
the one with the Rock Band keyboard. That was some good tunes to go with that. There's at least 4 different notes.
That's actually a very fitting Kraftwerk tribute.
Valid.
It would have to go on for about an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, it kind of will feel like that.
So Tom Pyrek actually in this race in the 455 car, his controller is actually a racing bicycle, hence the Pee Wee livery. So it's a pedal.
He's struggling.
As you can see, very effective.
Poor guy.
His bike is up on a trainer, so the back wheels are elevated. To accelerate his iRacing car, he needs to be pedaling full tilt. He's got hand brakes, he's got a clutch, he's got up and down for the shifting.
That will never get confusing.
It's going to be really great if that was any indication of what we're going to get in the next race, because I believe he's using that setup right now.
Oh, we've got my Colorado neighbor Bob Harnsberger on this race. That's good.
Excellent, Bob.
Cyan Don in chat saying he might be standing in his garage right now trying to figure out how to turn the race Camry into a sweet potato.
A sweet potato would be good, although if you wanted to get more African about it, a yam, because they're actually not the same thing, even though they look kind of similar.
This is welcome to Yam Chat on NPR.
Okay, Real Racing talks about the differences between various root vegetables. I'm going to say the yam's probably a little more streamlined, so you might get a performance edge over the guy racing the sweet potato, so you might think about that.
Real racers discuss the differences of root vegetables. Love it.
If it's a Camry, what is there like a special Japanese potato?
So the race Camry is actually an LS 400.
Actually, I'd be okay with peppers too. And there's some Japanese peppers. I'm actually growing these hawk's claw peppers that would work pretty well for a car. They're kind of long and skinny, so you'd have to make it extend in front of and behind the vehicle. But a hawk's claw pepper mobile would be just the choice for your Camry.
I literally just realized that is a Daytona USA tribute murder hornet liveried Camaro.
Yes, it is.
I love you so much for that.
By the way,
oh, that's so good.
Have
we seen Mr. Plow? We got Mr. Plow on the track here, number one.
Yeah.
What's that name?
Hang on a second. It's
Oh, Lordy.
Aloya.
Daytona USA.
Car number one.
We got a Harlequin trophy truck.
Oh, we got some crashes going on here.
9 cars in the field, and half of them are taken out in turn 1. That is exactly what we came here to see.
Oh my God, that's perfect. Someone just called the Camry the Yamry. And we're done.
I'm seeing an awful lot of steering inputs that look very binary, if you know what I'm saying.
I believe Bob Harns
tertiary.
using he's got an Xbox controller as well.
I mean, there's the full left, full right, full right, full left, full right, full throttle, no throttle.
Good look at the corkscrew.
We could literally, someone needs to hook up steering and brake and gas on a series of light switches, and that will be our tribute to novice drivers.
You know, light switches are very affordable.
Very competitive race here.
Is there... I'm seeing, from my view, one truck that's smoking really heavily. Oh, no, there they are.
That's the camera view, man.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll need that. Yep. Let's follow this group here. It's like a couple of matched cars.
Oh, just drive through him if you can't get around him.
He might not know he's there. That seems to be a common thing where you're not seeing all the other competitors.
Is that a bush?
It is a bush. Yeah, it's kind of pathetic. There's a lot of those bush billboards here in Denver, which is so firmly Coors Light, beer you can't distinguish from water country, that I don't know why they bother. If you're going to drink watery beer...
It might as well be Coors Light, because you can drink a lot of it.
Yeah, it's affordable, too.
That was a good send into turn 2 right there by the Harlequin Pro 2.
We did drink a lot of Coors Light back in the day, and then someone brought up I don't understand why you'd want to drink that. It tastes like water. I was like, if you could go to your sink and turn on the tap and Coors Light came out of it, and you got a buzz, you'd never leave your sink.
Yeah, but I could get a buzz out of most of the chemicals in my garage, like carb spray.
like the silver body paint.
It's much cheaper.
Exactly. Man, I love this line into turn 6 where you're
Is that a line?
45 feet away from the pavement. Yeah. And then
Even the second gear, turn in really early, like flick the shit out of it, Scandinavian style, and never let off the throttle.
Well, a Scandinavia where you've got like a Skylark transmission on a couch in front of your trailer, maybe. Which, in my experience, there's not a lot of in Sweden. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
That camera.
So all of these vehicles are being controlled by no steering wheel controllers?
not the next race. Yep. We'll get to
okay.
Yep.
Because they seem remarkably under control.
Yeah. So these are people with actual steering wheel setups, minus Tom Pyrek, who is DFL at the moment, probably getting set up for the next race. This is good. No, he's out there. Most excellent.
Jacob Andrews, it seems like every time I pop into a lemon stream, it gets more and more nonsensical. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, what is sense, really? I mean, that takes us to the question of what is meaning?
First time driving a Lemons iRacing car via bicycle, that looks pretty good.
He's really slowing down for those corners. They got to give him the credit.
Bang on their head.
Yes.
I believe the Khrushchev method is banging on the lectern at the UN.
Nice.
We will bury you!
I was going for Spicoli, but...
No, well, they're very similar, actually. Khrushchev and Spicoli. We could actually come up with a lot of parallels, and that's what real racing announcers do, is compare Khrushchev to Spicoli. Do you think Khrushchev ever got high in the VW bus?
Ringworm in the chat says, I used to like Keystone, but I bought a box the other night, and it is not good.
That's one of those not very shocking revelations.
Milwaukee's best.
Well, Keystone is one of those, it's not even legally allowed to be called a beer because it has to actually have been fermented and brewed to be a beer. So it's actually beer-flavored alcohol infused
beer
water.
Food.
No, you can buy like cheese food.
Yeah.
You can buy beer flavoring number 106 and add it to your, whatever it is. What's the percentage of alcohol in watery beer? Like 4. You can add your 4% ethanol from the same plant that makes fuel.
Aww.
And then some piss food coloring number 109.
And some yeast flavoring.
Well, I mean, yeast is pretty cheap. Well, actually not these days, now that people are hoarding it.
The hell with that. I want yeast flavoring. I just want to see the packaging.
Oh, the Daytona car looks so good.
It really does.
So their real Lemons car is a Volvo 242, which is a dead ringer for the actual Hornet. Like, just straight lines everywhere, 2-door. It's fantastic. And it looks pretty great on that, too.
It really does. They did a spectacular job, and thank you for making us all feel old.
Yeah, what year was that out? It's like the mid-90s, right? Early 90s?
Oh, my God, yeah. It had to be.
I remembered at the skating rink, which tells me, again...
The skating rink? Oh, yeah. Man.
I just remember the first time I walked into an arcade and there were 4 of them linked together, and everybody that I was there with, like all of us looked at each other and went, "We're never going home."
Did your skating rink have a guy selling PCP? Because otherwise it wasn't a true skating rink.
Every skating rink has that person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. It is the 50-year-old dude with a skullet every single time who's doing circles in the middle of the rink.
Wearing a Hare Krishna robe.
No, he's
driving a potato.
He has a jean vest on, a denim vest. Always.
I'm thinking if you're going to drink like crappy, cheap beer, I consider like Coors Light and all that to be pretty expensive. I mean, you can go definitely below that in the cost.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee's best.
I mean, by the way, once you stop insisting on beer, then it gets even cheaper. I mean, if it doesn't have to be beer-like, then you can get cleaning products, you get Listerine. Listerine's really affordable in terms of the amount of alcohol you get. And this is what real racing announcers talk about.
Never gone there. Are we speaking from experience or just like
Aqua Velva? Man, that gives you quite a buzz.
I remember on The Office, Meredith was drinking hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer, which is not cheap anymore. That's like
that's ironic. It's not cheaper than alcohol anymore, is it?
So here in Colorado, there's this brand of local Everclear called High Proof that's made in Boulder, of all places, which is like the Berkeley of Colorado. And man, that stuff's a great disinfectant. I've been using it for everything. But then I went back to the liquor store to get some more, and now they're using it in like a spray mister bottle to disinfect everything. And I realized that's essentially a carburetor, like a big puff of vaporized pure alcohol. I was a little nervous about like a static spark making a giant fireball.
What are you drinking? Oh, it's carb cleaner and ginger ale. It's really good.
Actually, brake clean. These safety people keep telling you when you burn brake cleaner, it makes phosgene. That's a bunch of do-gooder goggle box nonsense. You could send 100 chest X-rays a year, and you ought to have them.
That's right.
What are those?
This is real racing.
Under the food to keep it warm that you light on fire. Sterno. You just drink the Sterno.
Sterno, I think you have to squeeze it first. You have to put it in solid. You have to wrap it in a dirty rag and then squeeze it out. Don't ask me how I know this. Actually, I'll tell you how I know it. It's from reading the Andromeda Strain recently, the book.
It feels like
Not
this
the
one
movie.
time in prison we had some Sterno.
So we've actually had people bring us Pruno as a bribe, like the toilet-made, prison booze. It's not good.
Oh my god.
It's real low proof, so you have to drink a lot of it, which is unfortunate because it doesn't taste. That juice that builds up in the bottom of your garbage can, what I like to call garbage juice, that's Pruno. Real racing announcers here, this is what they talk about.
Mary Harris says her husband once lived next to the brewery for Limp beer.
Limp?
What the hell? I've never heard of Limp.
I'm
not from that area.
That's a St. Louis thing.
Houston.
Yeah, Limp Brewery.
She's from St. Louis, but I think he's not.
He lived there for a
Actually,
while.
no, I'm not sure.
I know where the Lemp Brewery is, and I was actually there in January. It's actually a cool episode.
Where is it?
It's God, what is the neighborhood?
Is it Soulard?
I mean, what city?
It's Soulard. Yeah, it's not far from the Anheuser Brewery.
Yep.
It's actually
I actually grew up in right across the river from St. Louis.
Oh, no kidding.
St. Louis,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Laclede's Landing, good stuff down there.
Excellent. Somebody.
I'm disappointed.
Oh, by the way, this race is over.
Checkered flag. Racing stuff. Talk about racing stuff.
Well done, my man.
There's literally a race going on in the background.
Yeah, well, this is what real racing announcers do.
Yeah, totally.
According to scoring, Nemesis Lab coming home P2. That's not bad.
Good job, Sean.
I believe I got this one in New Hampshire. I forget which team.
These
but I'm
results
sure
won't
they
be
got a
wrong
lot
at
of it.
all.
Who
Oh,
came
there
up
we go.
P2?
Yeah, you're P2.
You did.
Wait, what?
It's got
How
twos.
did
It's got
you were
multiples.
racing this whole time?
Yeah, Tom Lamina came in fourth. He's
Hey, Bob Holmberg comes in third.
Long Island.
How did I do that?
A bunch of people didn't start.
Right. Yeah.
It's fine.
You're actually
And,
13th.
Tom
I'm not
Lamina?
sure why it says that, but hey, it's for fun.
Hey, that makes me happy. Can I go back to that? I need to take a picture of that.
Sure thing.
Oh, Patrick Copeland's in here.
They
Look at
turn
that.
it
you
into
go.
a post.
There you go.
There you go. There you
Screenshot.
go. Screenshot done.
Yeah. Ooh.
We got a whole
Yeah.
bunch of guys that I would be hanging. I'd be hanging out with these guys at races if we weren't locked down.
Yep. Tom Lamino is in a firehouse working and watching this. Still managed to finish fourth.
Okay, so he probably goes from intubating fucking COVID victims to doing this.
Oh my.
Mike Goff says the no pedal no wheel is ineligible for him. Why is that?
What?
I believe he was added.
That seems like a cop out.
Should I be jumping out of this and jumping into that? Is that
Yeah,
what I
we'll
should be doing?
head in that general direction. I think good times. We're headed towards the no pedal no wheel race. This is the Silly Hats Only. If you're familiar with the old comic, what would you call it? Animated video. It's Don Hertzfeld, Silly Hats Only. Google it and catch up. I'm going to give a quick rundown of the field while we switch over. Then good donuts there by Andrew Aloya. What was the car? What is that again? The theme? Oh, Mr. Plow. Yeah, excellent. That name again is Mr. Plow.
Mr. Plow, yeah.
It's on the jacket. All right, so coming up in this next session, we're going to go right into the practice so we get plenty of time watching these people struggle to control their vehicles. Is Andrew Benna, who is going to be blindfolded. He just sent us a picture of himself blindfolded, and somebody's going to be talking him through every single corner while he attempts to drive with his monitor off and his blindfold on. He's actually raising money for a service animal service for the visually impaired in doing this, which is great. So people are donating per lap for Andrew, which is awesome. Also in the field, Brian Trainer using a PlayStation controller, Chris Chrome using a PlayStation controller, Chris Reynolds using an old laptop and an Xbox controller. Donald Gearhart has the Rock Band keyboard. He's going to be great. Eric Hesser, who we saw last week with the PS4 controller, also plugged in. There's a lot of game controllers, which is kind of like the, it's like the E30 of in Lemons. It's dumb, but it gets the job done. Garrett Shander also with an Xbox controller. Ian Davies has some kind of wild DJ setup with a Roland synth, a keytar, and a tractor.
A keytar.
I have no idea how any of it works.
Yeah, the keytar was so painfully 80s. I'm almost afraid to watch this.
Happiness achieved. I mean, we're done.
Chris Chrome on screen, driving backwards. It's a good start.
I can't get in. I was gonna run the RC controller, but I can't get in.
I thought I added you. I don't know. Some people are having trouble getting into their specified grid as I struggle to understand how to run iRacing. So you'll have.
Well,
that.
we just started today, didn't we?
Yep,
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
much. Jesse Thomas in this race also with an Xbox One controller. Jonathan Lyons. Yep, there's Eric Messer's setup.
That looks affordable.
With a Legion laptop as a brand name, I believe.
Wow, that's like the Saloon of tires, the Roadstone of controllers.
That's excellent.
Yep. We'll work our way through the field as they're in. Troy Frew is driving with an Etch-a-Sketch.
That was pretty excellent. Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration.
Oh yeah, look at this.
It's a demonstration.
It seems to work. I mean, and by work, I mean things happen.
I'm going to just use Troy's description of it, which is a $5 Etch-a-Sketch, an $11 Arduino, which is a programming dealy bob, two $3 potentiometers. The left knob is brake on the left of center, throttle on the right of center, right knob is steering. And he points out the potentiometers in the steering are endless spin. So if it goes past the edge, the input is instantly the opposite. So in other words, going from full right lock to full left lock if you turn it too far.
That's how Formula One cars work too. If you turn the wheel too far,
Yep.
It's a mechanical linkage in that case.
Exactly. Yeah, it's spectacular.
I'm kind of wondering when Troy's going to get that Peugeot 504 diesel back in action. I'm really looking forward to seeing that car.
Right, Troy famously has raced, attempted to assemble a Peugeot 504 diesel.
Well, he brought 3 of them to a race and got one of them almost ready to race, which I thought was a pretty staggering accomplishment.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also,
I mean, they showed up as random heap of French parts.
There's an Etch-a-Sketch done on the side as his number board, which is pretty spectacular. Here's our blind driver, Andrew Benna.
Or somebody shouts out the commands.
Somebody, so in the voice chat in Discord, we may be able to...
This is working great. I don't know, he's better than some drivers I've seen in real life.
Here's the terrifying thing. I did get in, and now I don't want to be in.
This is going to be quite a race, I got to say. Like, this is really what electronic lemons racing is all about.
That totally is right, because, it's all these people with this incredible ability that they love to waste on stuff like this. So all the classes for this are all 6 cars from season 1. They're all in one class because God knows how they're going to actually control them. Randy Bish, right here. There's no wheel involved with this setup.
Yeah, you can tell by the full left, full right, full left, full right input.
Yep, he has
okay.
pedals only.
Oh god, left, right. All right.
Yeah, one pedal
I
is
like the flip
throttle,
flops.
and the other throttle or the other pedal is the controlling input.
And yet, I've seen drivers with real cars do a lot worse than this.
As soon as Pastable Pizza says, anyone using a Nintendo Power Glove, that would be amazing.
Not yet. It could be you.
Oh, there's another option.
Should
there
be
you go.
you, yeah. All right, let's
I
check
was
out
suggesting earlier
Kevin.
the microwave oven touchpad used as a control. Like I want to do the roast the turkey button.
As soon as Pastable also asks about the gun from Duck Hunt. Actually, Troy Fru's setup that he was going to use instead of involves the Wii Blaster and a DDR pad. So, yeah, he went with the Etch-a-Sketch for some better reason.
Our poor blind driver's having a real hard time.
He's having a tough time.
Yeah.
I don't believe he did much practice at this. So he's learning as we go. Eric Hesser out there, as we mentioned.
Yep.
Who else is in here? There are a couple guys. Kevin Meebs, I think.
There's Ian.
It.
We can get a look at Ian's setup.
Yep, Ian, the one using the
we
Roland, the guitar, and the tractor fader, which is spectacular.
That's great.
Yeah, and I have no idea how any of this works, but
Talent.
apparently neither does he. It's gonna back into the wall. Very nice. Chris Chrome there cutting through using a controller like a wiener. What is Randy Bish's livery? I'm intrigued by this.
Did we get the controller that was the 2x4 covered with nails connected to wires where you touch nails together, or is that not happening this race?
Pat Mulry was maybe going to do something like that.
I was thinking the hot wire method where you just have a handful of bare wires, sort of like the wiring harness coming out of the dashboard of your Chevelle, and you just touch them together. I think that would be even more crude.
I just realized something. I'm sitting here with an RC controller and no ability to set up auto shift.
You should be able
stay
to.
in first gear. I mean, it's a good gear. It's got a lot of pickup.
It's the best gear. It's going to be great.
Actually, in real life in Lemons, because people often break their shifters and or transmissions, we found that third is the ideal gear to be stuck in. Because you can start it without killing your clutch too bad. And you can get going pretty fast in third gear, especially on like a Detroit land yacht with a pretty tall rear end, So if you have a choice, stick it in third and leave it there. So I'm saying just get some wires that you touch together for shifting into third and you're good. Some sudden control inputs there.
This is the climate control powered vehicle.
Oh, is that this one?
That is. This is amazing.
It's working. Okay, wait. Air conditioning, heat, defrost, defrost. Oh God, he hit defrost too late. Yeah. So this is what is it? A Maxima control, HVAC control?
Let's see here. I'll get a look.
It's a 300ZX.
Okay. Wow,
there
that's
you go.
kind of
There's a good look at it. There you go, Phil.
Yep.
I don't know why I thought that was
equipped with the
second
Sony
phase.
CD player. That's excellent.
I know. Aftermarket. He was hoping to get the clock working for the simple reason of having a clock
That's amazing.
that works.
An 80s Mitsubishi HVAC controller would be good too because it has the giant big nose icon for all the faces. They figured when he made those cars, okay, we're gonna have big nosed Westerners driving these cars. So they made this kind of caricature giant nosed human face to show like the wind blowing at your face, at your feet, whatever. I've been trying to get Mitsubishi in Japan to give me an official call on why they made the noses so big on the American Mitsubishi HVAC controls. And they really haven't gotten back to me on that.
Junior Bennett almost made it through the hairpin that time. Almost.
And what's his controller?
He can't see anything.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So someone's yelling left, right.
Yes.
Is the person? Is there seeing eye person? Actually, is it even a person or is it a goat?
He does. He does have a spotter. helping him. I
I
can't
think
tell.
the spotter may have had a couple of limps.
Yeah. Oh man.
So this is just the warm-up, right? So their cars will be miraculously reinstated into full mechanical condition when they start the real deal.
This race, because we know that it's going to be a little difficult to control.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, right, left.
No black flags and no damage, so you can just
Yeah.
nerf.
Oh, okay.
So it's like playing Gran Turismo like in 1997, basically.
Yes.
Is the idea.
Here's a look at Brian's setup.
The baseball cards will add to it.
That was a trophy that we gave out at Junior.
Oh, right.
1980 baseball cards that I had. A Bake McBride, by the way, had the most amazing afro of all time.
And the
Just
most
plunk-
amazing name, Bake McBride.
Yeah.
And he looks the part, right?
He has like
You know,
the
he looks
Princess
great.
Leia hair going.
this is
almost.
this is
What is,
the era of baseball. So
Yeah.
What's
Amazing.
Bake McBride doing these days?
I don't know. We should look him up. Bake McBride. It's a sweet name.
Yeah, I know.
right, Reese Lemons is what should happen.
Yeah, yes.
We'd
Grandfathered
make
in,
him
of
a
course.
judge, for sure.
All right, let's see. Who else?
I've
can we-
decided I'm just going to try to shift.
So, should we watch the who was driving with the bicycle? Because are they in here?
It's Tom Pyrek.
He was in the one before this. Yeah. Oh, he's here. He's here. He's just sitting on pit road. Okay. Maybe we should take it. Let's take a moment to show his video here as he's now leaving the pits. Okay, let's watch this together, guys.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So to make the throttle go, he needs to actually pedal the bike.
That's incredible.
You got handbrakes,
Faster,
clutches.
faster for one
Oh
throttle.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is some insane engineering.
That is great.
Oh man, that's
What
great.
do you do for brakes?
So,
Use the
so
bike
here's
brake
let's see.
control?
We have some more
Yeah.
pictures. Here we go. Here's a picture.
Whew.
Get this
It's-
where you can
Can
see
you
it.
shift with the bicycle shifters?
Yes, he can.
Excellent.
Oh
Yes,
wow, that's some
yeah.
incredible. That's some incredible engineering went into this. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I like the.
Okay, I see how this works. This is pretty futuristic.
In its own kind of understanding of futurism.
You know,
yeah, but
why not use a Barbie pink bike, though, is what I'm saying. Although they don't have shifters, do they?
It
They're
must
like
be.
the
Yeah, as I say, it
power
must be what he
bikes.
had on hand. I guess he's doing a
Actually,
fantastic
I guess
job.
it's the Schwinn Stinger that's the power glide, because that's
It's a
2-speed.
Very linear steering. Important.
I'd say that at the limit, it might have some understeer.
just a bit. You know, as soon as Pastable Pizza in the comments has a million awesome suggestions and just needs to get himself into this because he's clearly on top of what needs to be happening for this race.
And he's been making like gluten-free pizza with really seriously alternative flour substitutes like wallpaper paste, I've been noticing. So, I mean, he's actually making pizza now. I believe it was like wallpaper paste and that banned talcum powder that gives you cervical cancer.
Excellent.
Yeah. Maybe I read it wrong.
Andrew Benna headed down. He made it to the Leroy Jenkins Memorial Corkscrew, which is not nothing.
That's more than nothing.
For not being able to see where he's going, that's pretty great. I gotta
All
say.
right. So the question is,
that
do
Dodge
we
Caliber? No, never mind.
do
I
we
was
just
gonna say,
raid? Do we just raid them, or do you want to go in there and tell them we're coming first? That's the question.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
All right, cool.
I think the vision impaired setup has a few limitations.
Speaking of raid, how many people are on Twitch?
Oh,
Shout out to our 3 Twitch viewers. We love you. I've been seeing y'all in the chat. We love you. All right, we're gonna find out. Waiting for. Oh,
All right, I'm gonna go grab them and then toss them in.
do we
to
need
the
to go in
broadcast.
there though? Because he's sharing video in that room. We should probably go in there so I can pull the video.
Sure.
All right, cool. Let's all just go there.
All right, I have readjusted.
Hello, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Oh, hi.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
See here.
hi.
Oh, I have your video.
No,
It's
I was
even better.
taking off my headset for a sec to readjust my bandana, and
No, we
now
were
I'm here.
cheating. Just pure hacks. We're here to win.
All right, am I
Left,
going
left.
left?
You gotta go left. It's good. Straight. No, too far. Go right. Keep going straight. Good work. This lap's only gonna be like 4 minutes long. Go right.
Oh, right, my other right.
Yeah, your actual right. Oh, never mind. We're not gonna get a lap at all, are we? No, you are on your side.
All right, I am back in the pit lane now, I think.
Yeah,
I reset.
Yep, you've
All right.
successfully despawned.
First gear.
Great work. Great, keep going straight. You're gonna wall ride a little bit. Just try and ride the wall on your left.
You guys are doing all.
This is
great.
this is like when I would play like Gran Turismo 3 and I wouldn't know how to play the game because I was little, and I would just rubber band my controller and go on an oval track.
Am I in a wall?
You were, and then you bounced off. You gotta go left now.
All right. Which direction should I go?
Go left. And go.
There's a bit of a synapse sort of lag here, but
All right. Am I in a wall?
Yes, you are absolutely in a wall.
All right. I need to reverse. I'm guessing.
Yeah, you didn't really turn left. Okay, now you're good. Go straight from there. I think it's ridiculous to assume that you can leave pit without getting a black flag. I don't think it's possible. You gotta go left. Good, go straight. Right now, right.
Wait. Stop. Go. This needs a adjusting. There we go.
Okay, great work. Now you gotta go 90-degree left.
90 degree
just-
left.
So
Just,
Andrew.
you're perpendicular to a wall.
Yes.
You are in a wall.
So tell us what's it like to have no visual cues while you're doing this?
This is impossible. I would never recommend doing this. Ever.
don't say impossible.
You are
It's
pointed
just-
in the right direction now. If you want to
I
straighten
am?
up, yeah, you are.
You're
Whoop.
absolutely.
Turn to the right about 2 hours.
You gotta go right.
More than that.
Right.
Sorry, I'm a terrible. Yeah, this is great. So
I'm in a
we're
wall.
straight.
yeah. There you go.
Keep
Straight
going-
ahead.
keep going
Straight ahead. Nice.
Good work.
Crank it to
Now
about
you
3
gotta go
o'clock.
right.
This is gold.
Is the Jetta the blindfold car?
Yes. The
Sure
71.
is.
There we go.
I feel that I'm wall riding right now.
No,
You're in the
you
middle
are
of the
not.
track,
Okay,
hang
turn
right.
Turn right.
Hard right. Oh god. Oh, airborne. Keep digging.
Did I land it?
Left
Yep.
a little bit. You went. You
Hard left.
got a little too much angle out of that collision.
Oh.
My screen just went black. Okay, we're good. 90 degree. You gotta go left.
Left.
So
See,
yeah,
it
you
gets
gotta-
even more difficult when the spotter screen goes black.
so Cameron, YouTube wants to know: are you doing bad on purpose?
Yes.
No, I legitimately can't see anything. So
No. They're asking the spotter: is he doing bad on purpose?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, this car's an automatic, so
No,
at
it's
least
not.
we got one less. When I'm seeing it, when I'm looking from the passenger seat view, it's an automatic shifter.
Yeah, it's a DSG car, I think, canonically.
It's
All right,
in
am
D right now.
Am I in straight or where?
You're up against
gotta
the wall.
go-
You should back up.
You're perpendicular to a wall. You gotta go left.
Oh, look at that. There you go.
There you go.
Okay, great. Now you're on track.
Fantastic.
Go right, slight right.
More right.
Okay, good. Straight.
Oh, not that straight.
Not great. Maybe we'll roll out of this one.
Just
Hold
rolled
on.
it 3 or 4
Yeah.
times.
Ooh,
but-
nice.
Okay,
Okay,
great
here we go.
work. Okay, hard left.
Hard left.
He's just going to hit the tires.
All right.
I keep expecting the turning circle to be better than it is in this thing.
The spectator clean.
Keep going left. You back up, move. You're in the wall.
I think that spectator had too much meow meow.
Wait, is that good?
That was too far.
Too far? So forward
But
and
if
right?
you go forward and right. Yeah, go right.
Well, thank you guys for allowing us to join you in your blind
This
leading
is
the blind.
wonderful.
Yes, it was. It's been
Loving
wonderful.
these Voices,
You're almost
reminded me of
following
being
the
a
road now, but
multi-box.
kind of next to the road. You can go straight for
All right,
a while.
guys. You keep digging, and we'll check back in with you.
All right,
Thank
sounds
you.
good.
Some. Oh, wait, wall.
Well, that was a trip.
Yeah, it was. So people on YouTube were getting frustrated, so time to move on. But that was
It was a
gold.
little frustrating to watch, but
Oh no, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Huzzah. Who else we
Huzzah,
got here?
indeed.
We didn't end up with everybody. There were some admin problems that I'm going to fall on the sword for. So still figuring out how to invite people. Looks like Mike Gaw has made his way in here. He's
Yeah.
Complicated for me.
using a mouse and a keyboard. And he mentions that he's actually faster, by the way, with a mouse and keyboard than he is with the wheel and pedal setup that he bought. So I don't know. Maybe he puts that in his real racing car. I don't know.
man, this Jetta, or is it a Passat, is just ramming the wall over and over again.
That is our blind driver.
I know that. I've decided to watch him on my iRacing app.
That's pretty great. Let's see.
It's kind of like... Well, go ahead.
For a guy who's steering with his feet, I gotta say, Randy Bish doing pretty good. John Samuel, I believe, has swapped his pedal and wheel setup, so he's steering with the pedal and using the wheel for his throttle and brake. I assume one side is brake, one side is gas.
Let's take a look at the Nissan HVAC control car.
John Lyons, by the way, Jonathan Lyons, in the number 2 car. Yep, that looks right.
So this is the Nissan HVAC?
Yep, he's got the 300ZX.
Well, he's
controller.
making forward progress. Well, sort of.
It's yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait, defrost. No, wait, vents. I'm getting cold. And he's got the right-hand drive car for that sort of JDM feel.
That's right. As he passes our visually impaired driver, dumps it into a wall.
This is what racing's really all about. Oh, wait, you just missed your break point there, dude. Better trail break it.
The Leroy Jenkins Memorial Corkscrew right there.
He's doing it. It's the
It's not
controller
great,
inputs
but
are
it's
a little erratic. When you're at the limit in your HVAC controlled Miata.
Should mention we lost Sean Yoder from the broadcast booth as he is racing at the moment in 3rd place. He has an RC controller at the moment that he's using that he's repurposed for this. And again, looks pretty smooth, I gotta say. Maybe an RC controller is the way to do this.
I feel like I'm cheating, y'all. I have way too much control.
Is there a way you could invert the controls?
Yeah, I could invert the controls. I'm shifting manually, like I'm taking my hands off the keyboard and I'm sorry, off the RC controller and shifting the keyboard.
The truth comes out. He's actually
Well, that sounds cheaty to me.
and he just got dumped.
You know that they're rigging up those interfaces where you can kind of meditate and control animated balloons in a video game? I think that would be a good controller for this. You know what I'm talking about? Like your brain waves control the inputs. I think there's a little bit of a lag time between, thought and action, but I think it has potential.
What's that in the 000?
Actually, heart rate.
That's Kevin Meebs. So he's
You
using
can have your...
he's got flight sim controls. So he's using let me check that out. He's got the rudder pedals that he's steering with, which again,
That's a little too much like a real vehicle, though.
and he's using the throttle quadrant for the brake and throttle, and apparently the air brake button can act as a shifter. So I'm impressed with that setup. Kevin was driving the Doom car in the last race also.
Good. Jonathan Samuel running a 142.7. Holy carp.
That's pretty impressive for somebody who swapped his wheel and pedal, unless he hasn't.
Oh, is he cheating? Man,
We might have to
there's no
ride
black
along.
flags. There's nothing we can do except shame him.
We can. Well, I'm not in there.
No, he's probably legit. Why would you cheat in this, right? What would you gain?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, man, I just beat everybody. I get a roll of toilet paper. Do we still send a roll of toilet paper to the winner?
Yeah, I haven't actually mailed them because I'm not actually on top of my stuff that way.
Mailing is hard. You can send them virtual toilet paper.
I should do that.
I did send Eric and
Bluetooth.
Ryan a picture of my RC controller sitting in my beautiful 1987 Hyundai Excel seat.
Yes, most excellent.
I assume that seat was made with the very cheapest vinyl that was obtainable in South
it's
Korea.
cloth. It's cloth.
really?
And it literally, this seat, it has to have 1.5 million virtual miles on it. And it's really not uncomfortable. I don't understand it.
How many cubic yards of digestive gases have passed through its cloth?
So many.
I just want to know.
So many. Like,
Okay.
you don't want to run a forensic test on this seat at all. And
Like, you've just eaten 16, ricotta, schnitzels, and it's time to start outgassing.
Look, we're talking about gaming, so it's definitely gas station burrito.
Oh, God. The Rel's. Do you guys get Rel's burritos outside of the West?
Hot Pockets, Pizza Bites.
No, Rel's burritos are they're extruded, let's just say. You pull the lever, you extrude a burrito.
They're extruded, and when they go through you, they extrude home.
Exactly. Like the Play-Doh fuzzy pumper, you know what I mean? This is real racing announcing right here, folks.
Is Sam Goebel in the field? That's soggy. I don't know if he's actually made it.
All right, I am going to go get another gin.
So-
God knows I need it.
If you're familiar with, he is. He's on the track apparently. So that is the Mr. Bean setup. If you've ever seen the Mr. Bean skit where he's driving the Mini with a series of ropes and a broom, I believe that is what Soggy is attempting to do with his sim racing setup.
Really, literally with a rope and that's impressive.
I do think he had a backup system set that was just keyboard control.
Well, that's less impressive.
That may be what he's doing now. I'm not
Did I
really
tell you
sure.
about the time I actually made it across the San Francisco Bay Bridge in my MGB with my shoelaces as a throttle cable? It worked.
That sounds very MGB. Yeah.
Well, I broke the throttle cable. I drove from Orange County up to San Francisco, and on the last stretch, of a 7-hour drive, I broke the throttle cable, which is not surprising in a British Leyland vehicle, this being a 1973 MG. And it was a bad place. It was right before Treasure Island, so thinking quickly, I took my shoelaces off, tied them together, ran them to the throttle linkage, ran them outside and through the window, and was able to work the throttle well enough to get the car all the way to San Francisco. It was a little sketchy. Shifting was hard. But you always have shoelaces if you've got shoelace-equipped shoes.
Guys, I think Andrew Benna might finish a lap. I'm not sure where he's at. I think that's 10.
You would think that just as enough monkeys on
Turn one.
typewriters could
Turn one. Yeah, turn one.
just as enough monkeys on typewriters could make Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream, perhaps. The backwards driving is pretty good here. Does he know he's backwards?
I'm not sure.
Is he going the right direction?
Controller being used, by the way. Yep, definitely next.
Yeah, that's definitely not. That's definitely a binary. Okay, looking out the back window here. So it's forklift style steering here, which leads to a little bit of, I guess you would call it oversteer.
That's correct.
Love
I
it.
think this is the future of racing right here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what all do we have? We have an RC controller. We have Mr. Bean. We have a blind driver. We have a bicycle. There's
Etch a sketch.
What else do you need? I mean,
Oh, there's plenty more potential here. I mean, I really need to go get the complete dash from a Dodge Dynasty and make a controller out of that.
You know, Dynasty's surprisingly a car we've never seen in Lemons in real life.
I've been pushing for it for quite a while. I mean, it was a very luxurious car, and the really funny thing was they canceled the TV show Dynasty just in time for the car to be released. Like, they named the car because the TV show was so popular, but by the time Chrysler kind of got it through its digestive system and extruded it out the other end, out the fuzzy bumper, they had canceled the show. But
Larry Horse.
Sorry about that.
Larry Horse says, "Stop! I can only get so erect." And he did say that the blind Jetta meets the backwards car. How perfect! Yeah, I agree, Larry. That was good stuff.
You might as well drive backwards. I mean, what's he using as a controller on the backwards car?
An Xbox controller.
No, as an Xbox, that's basically left, right.
Yeah,
it should be more linear than that, but it may not be.
The corkscrew looks exciting.
Who was that went off? That was...
If he disappears, that means he went back to
Timbuktu.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Checks out. Tom Pyrek is saving his energy, knowing he has to bike for 24 straight minutes at full throttle.
I mean, you could make the things you don't have to pedal that fast, but why would you do that?
I'm glad you had a good time, Universe. It was our pleasure.
He does have gearing for it, so that's Jeff Glucker right in the first race.
Unlike a car, like a bicycle's got, I don't know, what is it, 18 speeds?
At least 9, I would think.
Unless you're driving the 1971 Schwinn with a banana seat, in which case you have the bicycle power glide. So back to the Dodge Dynasty. I'm really thinking that, like, a spec Dynasty race, I'd pay $7 to watch that race, and that's serious money. That's Lemps money right there. That's money I can spend on the Lemps.
Terry Crews driving a car with a controller connected to his chest muscles. Best idea. Thank you, Tommy.
Like that.
Actually hooking up an EKG, which you can actually get used EKG monitors. And ouch! I'm sorry, I was watching a crash right there. Something like that, brainwaves,
I was just say there are brainwave controllers. We could go.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see that. I think the lapse between control input and things happening might be, well, it would be like a 79 Chrysler New Yorker. Interesting line right there.
Yep, that was a good attempt. There was an attempt.
A lot of people don't know that line.
Looks like Troy Frew run a 206 with the Etch-a-Sketch.
All right, folks, I see in the comments now that a lot of people are talking about getting Dodge Dynasty, but I mean, you really, if you're going to write that check, you'd better cash it. Get the Dynasty. And I'm going to tell you, if you have to spend more than $100 for a Dynasty, you're getting ripped off. You should probably go for the 7 Dynasties for $400 deal. And somewhere in your town is a guy who used to think the Dynasty is a great car, and he hoarded 19 of them, and he just died. And now you can get his Dynasties for next to nothing, and you should.
Yeah, there's Brian Trainer, guy who didn't ramp over a Camero with the truck for some reason, using a PlayStation controller.
Well, maybe he lacked the control definition necessary to hit that ramp.
It's good color on the PlayStation controller there.
Trainer's actually really roaring past the competition here.
Well, it's easy to do when the other car's doing 30 miles an hour.
Well, we should maybe ban the PlayStation controller. Oh, wait, maybe not, though.
Well, I think it's a given that, the PlayStation controller is going to end up being the one who wins, but we don't actually care about who wins. That's the whole point of it.
Well, you're right. And as I keep saying, at the real Lemons races, people come and talk to us, man, we were in 7th place and now we're in 9th. And we have to look like we care, because we're supposed to be glued to the standings. But
Whistler.
Joseph Blackwell's setup is one of the best things I've ever seen. Probably the strangest thing ever. Yeah,
should I play the video?
Yeah, it won't explain anything, but yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, this is like one of those.
Might need the audio.
I'm working on it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not sure where it went.
Oh man, it's like being at work.
So I can.
Here we go. All right, I'm ready. Here we go. Sorry about that.
Okay, so I'm not.
All right, so we're not going to see your dental porn, right? We're going to see.
My control, so I thought I'd share
Spit sync.
this. I have it set up so I can whistle.
Well, the gist of it is that basically he's got a microphone set up with MIDI
Currently, it
inputs
only
in
hits
it.
S and D.
It's playing real quiet. I can't hear it. I don't know if the audience can.
Yeah,
Just let me show
it's
you.
up.
Okay.
Laughing, controlling with an RC controller, and then wanting to say 2 hygienists, 1 sink. It's not an easy thing to do.
Now, I don't
Well,
know
the
what to do with this.
sink's not a regular sink, I gotta say. Like, when they've taken the mold of your teeth and you gotta spit out that rubbery kind of strawberry stuff. Alright, so we're never gonna see what that setup is, but is he shouting into a microphone for
He's
control?
whistling.
So
of some
what it
sort.
is basically it logs whatever a tone is, and whatever the tone is, it'll output as an input for the car. He's playing his saxophone into a microphone.
Oh, man!
So,
The only thing that would be better than that would be a sousaphone.
right.
Yes.
And he hit a B flat right there.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of potential. Actually, a whole band playing together.
Is that a Ninja Turtles theme going on there also?
It's hard to say. No?
What the
What is
hell?
that?
It does. Yeah.
Let's get closer here. It's something slow marrow.
George Ace.
George A. Slomero.
Whoa!
Yeah. That was a great ramp over the curving there.
Over the
also.
apex marker, yeah. Wow. We will get there eventually.
For racing with a saxophone?
You saw the Ninja
gotta
Turtle
say,
logo. You did
I
great.
think this is the best saxophone-controlled race car I've ever seen in my life. Out of every person in the world right now, this is the only person racing a car with a saxophone.
That's correct.
Yeah.
This is the only blind person on iRacing.
A456987 on YouTube says, "Is he playing Careless Whisper?" God, I hope so.
I really hope so.
Hit a few cones here.
Omar says, I'm high enough that I could be entertained by just watching this guy navigate his cluttered desktop.
Well, you're in for a treat then.
Thank you, Omar.
All right,
Not
just
part
for
of
fun,
Could you
like,
imagine
I'm not gonna get
the
any-
gracefulness of Kenny G navigating
all right.
the racetrack with his saxophone?
You'd have to be pretty high to enjoy that.
We need to appreciate this for a moment because the guy who cannot see what is happening is about to lead the pace lap.
Oh, here we are. The real races. Oh, this is just warm up. Now we're doing the real deal.
Now,
here.
yeah, look at all the steering pointed in the wrong direction. Can you guys see that?
Just so I get no practice doing it, I just reversed my steering input right before
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, I was going to tell you RC controller. There should be a little switch for that.
Ryan Gregory says the saxophone is playing Jesus Take the Wheel.
Yes. Yeah, Matthew Cox. Good call. Theremin. That would be entertaining too. Oh.
Okay, we're all hitting each other.
Let's go. Come on now.
Off the grid.
This is totally going to break my brain.
All right, here we go. Yeah,
Start. It's a good
Uh-oh.
start.
he's going. Oh, wait. If you hit a glancing blow on the wall, you keep going the right direction, though.
He's doing great.
Yeah, I see no problems here.
He's staying on the track.
Well, sort of.
Ah, well, keep
no,
going.
no,
There you
the
go.
concrete wall is like a handy guide.
Yep. Good luck, everybody else.
You know the old cars they had at Disneyland where you had like the curb in between your wheels to steer you?
Yep.
It's kind of like that. Oh, wait. It's disappeared.
I wonder if
I
these
think
guys
he
are going to get a
probably-
black flag or not. I wonder that.
Yeah, that's an interesting side.
You know, I
side
think that
quest.
everyone else should get a black flag and then see if he can, you know.
Is he yeah.
How do you know if you get a black flag if you're blindfolded?
The rest. Well, he's definitely not going to get one because he hasn't passed anyone before the green. So
We should make sure we get a moment to ride with everybody as he is about 9 turns behind everybody.
Well, it's only when he gets more than 90 degrees away from the direction everyone else is going that he's really in trouble. Because then it becomes hard to get back in the right direction.
Jesse Thomas has an Xbox controller, so he's kind of being a wiener. I probably shouldn't say stuff like that. Mike Goff driving
He
with a
just
mouse.
did. It's on record now, man.
Yeah, man.
mouse driving
Good
is
to-
where it's at. I tried it. I love it. I
Yeah.
highly recommend it if you haven't tried it.
It's not, what, having a scotch card?
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, okay, good. I think there's really a lot of control setups to be explored involving just audio input controlling what you're doing. Screaming, for example.
Yeah, I feel like you need a Swedish death metal.
Well,
Oh, God.
you have to be
We're
able to
losing
do
cars.
Cookie Monster voice at all registers.
Randy Bish off at the last turn before we start, looks like.
Or how about a setup where you've got switches all over the room, like one side of the room is left steering, other side is right steering. You have to run back and forth between them.
Let's get a look at Tom Pyrak or Troy Frew if we can. Is this, yep, there's Troy driving with the Etch-a-Sketch. I gotta say that...
The Etch-a-Sketch works kind of okay.
Yeah.
But he's cheating by using an Arduino. I think it should be pure analog. I want to see capacitors somehow. And actually hooked up to his genitals to give him a shock every time he does something wrong. That reminds me, like the early Lemons races, Jay actually had a dog shock collar with a remote. He would put on bad drivers and zap them when they were doing something bad, but they would make them crash. Turned out suboptimal.
It looks like Garrett Shander's just driving backwards the whole race. And
I think
going
that works
faster
better
than Tom Pyrak on the bike. And yet he's still on the racetrack. I mean,
backwards is seemingly working pretty well.
The bike's working all right too. Steering very progressive. He's headed to the basement of the Alamo, I guess.
Looks like the... well, no, he's still backwards, but he's up against the wall.
He kind of got punted a little bit. I think it's fine.
Yeah. Well, where's he going now? He's going to Monterey. He's going to the pick and pull in Moss Landing, which I'd like to reiterate, one of my favorite pick and pulls in the entire chain.
Check out, let's check out Joseph Blackwell if we can get a moment to watch the sax man send his saxogram, and yep, he's far away from the racetrack.
I'm picturing like the sax in the Beastie Boys song Brass Monkey, you know? Honk, 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 honk,
I really hope he's recording this, and so is Ian Davies with the synth, because
I'd like to hear the song. You know, it's probably a little dissonant.
Mary Harris asking how sweaty is Tom Pyrak. Yes, the answer is yes. This is what a synth looks like when you're driving a race car with it.
He's going pretty good clip here. Uh-oh, there's the backwards car.
Like
it was very forklifty, that move there.
As was the having a stroke at turn 2.
Actually, watching these wheels is pretty good here. Yeah, that must be hard on your tread. That's why you want to run those Roadstones. They're 14,000 treadwear tires. Seriously, we had the Roadstones run a full race at Indy Motorsports Ranch, which, because airplanes have to land on the racing surface, has pretty rough pavement. Didn't show any signs of wear. They might as well have been brand new Roadstones. So really, right there, what other tire would you need for racing?
There's Randy Bish. People are requesting that we put Randy on the old horn. Let's see if we can.
Oh yeah. Let's have him do some commentary.
Let's see if I can.
I assume he's had a couple of snorts.
Randy Bish, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. How are you guys tonight?
Oh, he's got music.
Yeah, you're jamming. How's it going, man?
My feet.
Oh, dude!
You just hit the blind guy. What is wrong with you?
He spun him.
So, dare I ask how much imbibing you've been doing this evening?
Only a little bit. I can still feel my feet, which really is not good for this.
Well, you need to get some of that South Carolina moonshine we used to get bribed with, the nail polish remover, because you won't feel your feet after that. You won't feel anything.
So explain to me how you're controlling the car, or not.
So I am cheating a little bit. I am using pedals, but only pedals. The accelerator pedal is steering, and the pedal is throttle/gas.
You're not dead.
So how do you? Is it rock back is the brake and rock forward is the gas?
typically full brake is now gas, and full gas is now left.
I see.
Are you listening to like?
Or you have a stroke.
Are you listening to digital Norteño music now? Is that what this is? Like on a Casio?
It's the red driving music from.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the Fazoli's restaurants from back in the day? It's that music.
Your digital watch playing, the Los Tigres del Norte.
Might as well be.
All right. Well, we'll let you continue to injure your feet for the next. There's there's only 18 minutes and 45 seconds left, so you'll be totally fine.
I'm seeing a really good suggestion from YouTube. A new penalty should be to read the John Galt speech from Atlas Shrugged, since it's 50 pages long. Actually, I think that's an underestimated length, but yeah, we actually made one team that had one of the many teams with a John Galt theme. Like, man, how boring could he be? Do a sexy Ayn Rand portrait on the hood of their car, which was a reach, but they did it.
Indeed. I mean, what is sexier than Ayn Rand?
She had a lot of hot young lads giving her the time.
Looks like Andrew Benna still driving blind, heading backwards down pit lane.
I think he's not going the right way, and he's not in the right lane. Other than that, he's doing great. Oh, he can go over that.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine here.
You need more of a running start, though.
Just Tom Pyrek passes color backwards.
This is one of the greatest iRacing events I've ever seen.
Somebody asking what 287 is using. That's Soggy. He is using the Mr. Bean setup, I believe.
Oh, with like ropes and zip ties tied to his controllers?
Yep. And
ideally, you'd be in another room and have them go around a couple of corners.
Yep, there's a Soggy setup. It's really hard to parse, but you can see in the right side is the broom handle. There's some rope tied to the.
It's kind of Soggy level photograph there, but I get the idea.
Yeah, indeed. And he's in an easy chair 6 feet away from all the control surfaces, which is really, what you're going for with the Mr.
He should really be on a waterbed, standing on a waterbed.
AFK Jim saying I have to have video of the guy controlling his car with a saxophone. We will try our best to get it and put it on social media for you guys.
Oh, so someone's requesting more commentary on Eastern Bloc dictators. Well, I'd be happy to oblige.
Please no.
Sorry. I'm not going to, but just imagine what you would do if you were Eric Honecker.
I don't know who that
What
is.
would Eric Honecker do?
Holy crap, there's actually a race going on, by the way.
Yeah, you're right.
Are we aware of this? That's weird.
Well, as I said, it's like a real Lemons race where the organizers don't care what's going on in terms of standings until 2 hours before the checkered flag. And even then, we don't care that much. Except for Class C. We care about that a lot.
In the lead is steering with his pedals and using brakes and throttle with his wheel. So,
and blinking a lot.
You need to practice that out a lot, I would guess. It's like they're passing Ian Davies on the.
Is that like the people who wear the glasses that make everything look upside down and eventually it looks right side up?
Yeah, it's like when you're in driver's ed and they make you wear the DUI glasses. It's like,
oh, I've never had those. What do they look like? Like looking through the bottom of Coke bottles or something?
Yeah, it kind of distorts everything. Yeah,
that's not really the full extent of drunk driving problems, though.
Well, it's as much as you can do to a 16-year-old in that.
I think you can make him have a Scotch Guard.
You're stuck on the Scotch Guard, Phil.
Well, apparently, among inhalants, Scotch Guard is the Cadillac.
Bitter Lemon weighing into the comments. That is Philip von Weitershausen, who races a Bitter SC in Lemons. Google that. That is a fine automobile.
Racing, it might be an extreme statement, but he takes it on the track.
That's true.
Actually, so I had the Bitter Jihad get all over me because I wrote some stuff that wasn't sufficiently laudatory about the Bitter, and man, those guys are a little scary. So I bet Philip has a couple of fatwas out on his ass right now because he's dared to race such a fine machine. So it's essentially like you take an Opel, which is like the Oldsmobile of Germany, and then you make it into kind of a different looking Opel and charge a lot for it, and that's a Bitter. So he has had the audacity to race one of these things, and I'm sure that he's probably had to go into witness protection by now. But yeah, the Bitter guys, the only people I've dealt with in my automotive writing work that are scarier than the bitter guys are the Skywagon guys, the Buick Sportwagon and Old Vista Cruiser people.
Yeah. Believable.
They're pretty scary.
Yeah. Soggy off to the right of Randy Bish there in 6th. They head up towards the Leroy Jenkins Memorial Corkscrew.
So does Soggy reach with the broomstick to choose each pedal, or does he have an individual broomstick per pedal?
That was golden.
That was fantastic right there.
So the best lap so far is Eric Hesser, who's cheating with an Xbox controller. He's rating a 146 flat. Our next best is... it's only registering laps where you don't cut the track, so we'll have to dig deeper into that. But
which is nobody ever.
It looks like Kevin Moebs with a 149. Sean there run with a 150. Excellent.
Wait, if you cut the track at all, you don't get counted for the whole lap? That seems wrong.
It just won't count your time.
It just doesn't count your time. Like, you still get your lap counted, but it's not considered a clean lap, so it doesn't show up as a best lap.
Let's check in on Jonathan Lyons with the Nissan 300ZX control system, which is
my personal favorite.
It's pretty out there. I mean, it's a
junkyard,
but
I have a junkyard thing, so yeah. Look at this. So what controls what here?
The temp control on the left is your steering.
Okay.
The fan control on the right is your throttle and brake. He was trying to work the AC clutch and something else as the shifting, but I think he ended up putting it as an automatic.
So the buttons don't do anything yet?
Not yet. I think that's coming. He was struggling to get it working at all.
He's doing an amazing job.
He's doing great. He's not last.
I was thinking of a good controller method would be jack your car up, not on the wheels, just on the frame, and rig up sensors on the wheels and the brake system and the throttle, so you actually use your real car to control your iRacing. You're actually moving your wheels. It detects the pressure in your brake system, applies brakes accordingly and all that. And then when you're done, you take it off the jack stands and don't go anywhere because we're quarantined.
Looks like Ian Davies there on the left, still driving the synth around, looking great. He might have died in the Leroy Memorial Corkscrew. Looks
so I thought if you died, you had to go back to pit lane, or you just sit there for a while?
It'll tow you in sometimes, I think.
Okay.
But damage is turned off, so you can just keep going, I think.
Oh, good.
For driving with a climate control system from a mid-80s sports car, Jonathan Lyons doing a pretty good job.
This is by far the best climate-controlled car I've ever seen.
Yep.
Does he have a means of shifting, or it's automatic, right?
Yeah, I think he set it up for automatic.
Okay.
He was working on it, didn't quite have it. And look at that, he even knows where the other driver is and gives him space. That's
amazing.
great.
Well, that could have been random, but yes, let's say it was on purpose.
Phil, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt here. He's doing an amazing job. He's trying to keep the climate controlled.
I mean, if I were giving out an IOE right here, I'd be giving it to the HVAC.
Oh, geez.
You know what? He handled that. He handled the oversteer there about as well as most people with.
There he
goes. It's no problem.
Amazing, like it never happened.
It turns out the HVAC controller is a superior means of racing.
Back to your point, Phil, about using a real car. Somebody did that with the CAN bus system in like their mom's Fiat 500 or something.
That's all nerdy and everything. I'm saying like actual mechanical setup where your car's up on jack stands in the garage.
Well, you've been around Lemon. Do you know there's plenty of nerdy people who can program that kind of stuff?
I know, it's fine. I don't have anything against bits, per se.
Per se, yeah.
Yeah, but let's just say I'm talking about spit sync.
How many laps has Andrew logged here?
Let's take a look.
He has no fast lap or last lap, so
he has not completed a lap, unfortunately. Okay. Well, he has I think he's on his second lap, but yeah.
As we said,
start your timing loop till
right,
the monkeys on the infinite typewriters will eventually make Midsummer Night's Dream, and he'll eventually get a lap.
You know what? I think if he gets one lap, he's our internet IOE. Yep, totally.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got an IOE decal we could give him.
Yep, we'll do that for sure.
Okay, I think I may have lost it, but I think I sent it to you.
You did. I got it. I'll make sure it's that.
He's making forward progress here.
He's going 27 miles an hour. I mean, that is
that's for blind. That's pretty good. The wall serves as a guide. Okay, but that's more than 90 degrees. There's the porta potties.
Yep.
I like that they include that. That's a level of realism. I mean, you can't. We don't have the smell-o-vision yet.
Thank God.
let's just talk about
stink units, but
this is a good time to bring up the GSU, the Gingerman Stink Unit. That's the standard of measure for how stinky a racetrack bathroom is.
That's right.
Gingerman, they have a bunch of porta potties they don't empty.
Oh.
But they also have a couple of bathrooms where they've got like this symbolic little fan kind of creaking away, moving like 1 cubic foot of air an hour. But basically, you've got this kind of yellowish brown gas condensing on the walls. And I gotta say, I mean, the GSU kind of lets you know what it's like to be a primate.
Give it to him, Yoder.
That's our commentator.
A bit of erotic.
Chasing somebody off the track. Take that, Randy Bish.
I hit him, but I didn't hit him when he spun.
No, he spun without any real, influence by the car hitting him.
I gotta say, Chris Chrome there in the red Camero, a little less aggressive this time. Not sure what that's all about.
Well, how aggressive can you be when you're using your, actually, what's his controller?
He's got an Xbox
controller. Oh, Xbox, man. That's like the driving the E36,
He was planning to use a DDR pad and just couldn't quite get it together, so...
I mean, how much does one of those cost? Can't be much.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he already has it. He just hasn't figured out how to program it. He's having trouble getting past Troy Frew with the Etch-a-Sketch here, so,
Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to pass the Etch-a-Sketch car.
He's giving it to him. I appreciate that. I believe the Etch-a-Sketch is 2 positions ahead of the 300ZX climate control system. So, pro tip from us here at Lemons, if you are looking to control a car virtually, Etch-a-Sketch slightly better than a climate control system from a Nissan in 1986.
Well, this is just one race, though. It's small sample size.
Can we talk to the climate control guy?
Yeah, let's put him up. See if he's on.
Who is it again?
There he is.
Jonathan Lyon. Yeah, there you go.
I want to hear what he has to say.
You got him, or you want me to get him?
Oh, God.
There you go.
Jonathan Lyons, you are in the broadcast booth as you attempt to drive that thing with a climate control system. How is it going?
It is certainly not the best thing to drive.
But there it is, and you're doing it.
I honestly wish I did something better than the ratchet strap to this TV dinner tray to hold it in place.
No, that's ideal. So did you get this in the junkyard, or did you pull it out of a parts car?
This is my car. This is my daily driver.
Oh, you took it out. You're going to put it back when you want to drive it?
I don't know. It doesn't exactly work, so...
That's very Nissanic.
Excellent recovery.
That was well done.
We were giving you praises earlier, Jonathan. Your oversteer recoveries have been amazing tonight.
Yeah, and take that, Randy Bish. Also,
yeah, that seems to be the big problem for me tonight. Is I just get into this death wobble because I overcompensate on the steering wheel.
Sure.
So do you have the HVAC controller like directly in front of you, or is it kind of like between your knees, or how do you have it arranged?
You said it's ratchet strapped to a TV tray, right?
Yeah, it's sitting in front of me, ratchet strapped to a TV tray.
Okay.
But it's sliding back and forth in the ratchet strap due to the resistance of the actual slides themselves.
I suggest you get a tube of shoe goo, which is the shoe repair glue, and just glue it to the TV tray, because you really don't need it in your car. I mean, what do you need that for?
It's removable, too. Shoe goo's great.
And also, junkyards are essential services, so they're open. You can put a mask on, go to the junkyard, and get another one.
So were you able to get the gear shifting on there, too?
So, a little bit, yes. I'm kind of in between it.
Okay.
I wasn't able to do the H pattern shifting with the vent selector as I wanted to, but I did get it to up and down shift for me.
Excellent.
Hey,
excellent.
That's awesome.
Yes. People on YouTube say you are epic, so keep up the great work.
I just have to have something more ridiculous next time.
You are now referred to as Temp Dude.
Garage door opener would be pretty good, too.
All right, we'll let you get back to it, Jonathan.
You know
Thank
me.
you,
I'm here
Jonathan.
just keeping it cool. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate it.
That was excellent.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I'm voting for him to get the IOE for this one.
All right, who else? Who else can we talk
Look
to?
at him, he's going.
Yeah,
Joseph Blackwell might be the first case ever of having to retire from a race because your saxophone was annoying the bejesus out of your roommates.
Should we get Troy? Should we get Troy up here?
How many people are there in the world? Right? 8 billion? I mean, of 8 billion people, he's the only one to have to retire from a race because his sax was annoying his roommate.
I know, Billy Lemon. We want to see it too.
Let me see if I can get Troy.
Yeah, so we need Troy.
The only one to ever control a vehicle by saxophone. There's no way.
I bet there have been a few.
Let's get some Etch-a-Sketch conversation going.
Troy Frew, can you hear us? This is you are live on the internet as you attempt to navigate Seika.
Hey, Troy.
Howdy.
How's the Etch-a-Sketch treating you? It looks like a handful.
Absolutely terrible.
Well, it seems like you have some amount of steering input, but I'm guessing the throttle and brakes not great.
The throttles and brakes basically set like a boat. The steering input's like 90 degrees turning angle.
You're doing an incredible job.
The HVAC controller, then.
Yeah, you were racing. Yeah.
You mentioned that if you turn it too far, you get automatically and immediately the opposite effect. Have you found that anywhere during this race?
Constantly all over the place.
Excellent. Well, you're doing as well as I think anybody could expect. I think
you're exceeding my expectations, Troy.
No, he's doing way better than I thought the Etch-a-Sketch would be.
Best lap, 2 minutes, 0.764. Troy, that's impressive.
Thanks.
By the way, we've got a commenter on YouTube suggesting that somebody build a Subaru controlled by a vape, which I think seems excellent.
That is excellent.
Well, you know what? I just watched the Top Gear episode where Jeremy Clarkson plays Gran Turismo and then tries to go to Laguna Seca and set his time. His fastest lap was a 57. A 157. I bet Troy can probably get that with an Etch-a-Sketch.
I think you can do it, Troy. I believe in you.
You get it.
I can try.
The part about being in this race is coming up on a car that you know is being driven by a blindfolded person or someone on an Etch-a-Sketch, and your spotter says that car is not a lead lap car.
Excellent. We'll let you get back to it, Troy.
Nice pass, Troy. Keep it up.
All right, thanks.
Keep it cool, Troy.
I think this is the fastest Etch-a-Sketch controlled vehicle I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, hands down. And
again, only.
Yeah, he's slowed down a little bit here.
We're doing this Guinness. We should
final lap. Hey guys, we're on the final lap now. We got some race excitement here. Let's build it up.
Not really. John Samuel's running away with it.
All right.
23 seconds up.
Can we push the button and have him throw a rod?
I wish we could. That'd be great.
All right. Well, he's disqualified for not using an HVAC controller or an Etch-a-Sketch. So.
Yep. Although he's clearly using something.
He's using something sketchy. All right. Well, he's doing okay for the binary steering input.
Yeah, he's using the pedals to steer and the steering wheel to
that's all right.
Brake. Yeah.
He's doing okay. Now, when he gets into a real car, he's going to crash in the first 5 seconds.
Right.
Correct.
Because he's used to this now.
Congratulations, Jonathan.
Wow, this is
great.
This is. I think this is probably the greatest thing we could have ever done in iRacing.
Oh, it's going to get better though, because more people are going to build ridiculous controllers now.
Michael Shaw, to answer your question, a particular tone outputs a keystroke, and I guess he's got it keyed up to where if you play certain notes, it does the steering. I think, is that right, Eric?
Yep. Each one does, gas brake. So, like, if you
play one at a time, then slow down, speed up, left, right.
Yep.
Honk, honk, honk.
Yeah. Yep. So you're playing a B, is the gas or whatever.
I think it's a trombone would be better for that too, because it's louder.
Yeah, but it's also sliding, so you got to hit the note perfectly, or else.
Yeah, but the sliding part's more racy because you're doing more.
Andrew Benna got a lap in.
He's on the straightaway now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Coming to the checkered. Okay, just smash the gas. Bring it home. Yes.
I mean, he got a lap. Or has he got a lap yet?
That was a good departure.
No, here it comes. All right. Well, he's got the guide wall now.
He's going to get 50 miles an hour. He might get 60 by the 70. 70.
All right.
78.
Okay, just enough speed to hit the other wall.
So I believe people were collecting $5 a lap.
He definitely completed. You know what? He did complete a lap. 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Lap 3. So he actually completed 3 laps.
Excellent.
That is excellent. Yep.
So we've got a suggestion that the Cadillac Alante control panel would be really good, and that's true because it has more buttons than any car ever made.
That's right.
So, yeah, I mean, there's one in the junkyard near me right now. I mean, I should maybe go grab it and make a controller out of it.
There's one around the corner from me at a shop. I should just rip out the panel. So
there's only like 50,000 of them were ever made, but they're all abandoned on a street near you.
Here's Jonathan Lyons taking the checkered flag.
Yay!
Hey, this is great. He sent me that, and I was like, "There's no way that he's ever going to even be able to wire that."
Made it work.
There he is, finishing a 24-minute race. Tom Pyrek in the
the
bike-powered car.
Let's go. Let's go cycling. Yay!
How many laps has he completed? Because
he has completed. Also. This is his 6th lap. He's about to complete number 7 here.
14th place, right in the
middle. Also one where you have to flap your arms like a bird would be good.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Cash Clark asking, how do I get entered in this version of the race? Go to isuckatracing.com. isuckatracing.com is where our official iRacing page is. Has all the information how to enter.
Yes, NASCAR fan. We absolutely are going to do another race like this.
I don't know who it was, but I feel really good about myself right now.
And you have to pay us in toilet paper.
And here is the dumping down in turn 1. Get yourself in there, Sean.
Oh, yeah. Somebody suggests the Riviera CRT controller. Excellent idea. The touchpad, which is actually based on an ATM screen from the 80s. So even better. So you could find a vintage ATM and use that as your controller.
Sean, I'm a trombone player too. Amen.
Oh, no, it looks like not very well controlled crash fest.
Oh, disappointment. Did you bail?
So now they're going to drive into downtown Monterey.
You booted. Did you get too many incidents? No.
Yeah, evidently.
You're disqualified.
Controller.
7 laps riding controller, in 30 minutes. Impressive. Yes.
I was driving it with the steering reversed.
Oh yes, so NASCAR fan. Are you the Guitar Hero controller person? Yes, you are more than welcome to join us the next time we do this.
Yeah, I didn't hear from the actual guy who used it last week.
That's the NASCAR fan 999 on YouTube. Yes.
By the way, Jeff Glucker of Hooniverse posted this on Twitter about this race. Landon Castle, NASCAR racer, said, "Oh man, if somebody does this with a Guitar Hero controller, I'll find them a sponsor." So,
yes,
we get sponsors for this.
There you go.
Landon Castle, shout out. What's up, man? Oh, the punt.
Yeah, that was he was already dead, but he was more dead after that.
No, he looks like back to life.
Yeah, he got that turtle flipped back over, and now he's turning around in reverse.
Yeah,
props
in real life, it would have been less happy.
Props to Tom Pyrek for the bicycle-powered donuts in the Andretti hairpin down there. Well, they were happening, I promise.
Yes, Michael Shaw, please share it with your friends. Thank you.
This was great. I think this was peak Lemons iRacing, this event.
Yes.
There was a saxophone. There was a climate control. There was an Etch-a-Sketch. There was a bicycle. None of it makes a lick of sense, and yet here it is happening. So what more could you ever want?
I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to control a car with a Van de Graaff generator. Like, how do I make that happen?
Oh, no, a theremin.
Yeah, theremin
was
suggested.
And a guest
appearance. There you go. It must happen.
The cat on a Roomba is just for you, ACR Speed. Thank you.
Still one of my favorites.
The Roomba controller. Yes. The
Roomba controller. Ooh.
Someone mentioned that earlier.
What's Mike Huckabee have to say about this?
Howard Dean?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's my new favorite mistaken identity right there.
Unfortunately, the gin has taken over.
Oh, whoops.
24 minutes turning right to go left is really hurt my brain.
I burn everything I've got.
That's right.
Nick. That's right. Boy.
Well, as you might know, Eric Rude started out his Lemons career with an incredible Nixon theme.
That's true. That's a true story.
Yeah. He made a Nixon robot. He made a really disturbing Nixon robot that was all the more disturbing because of its crudity.
Yeah.
It was, I believe, a garbage can body with windshield wiper arms and a Nixon mask on it.
There's a rotating bucket. I don't even remember how
That wasn't a bucket. It was galvanized. I just remember the galvanization. Nixon was kind of a galvanized president.
It was galvanized.
Michael
Exactly.
Shaw asking if the blind drivers made a lap yet. I believe Andrew Benna made 3
he
laps.
did. He got more than a lap, yeah. The backwards solstice, still backwards, smoking a lot.
I have
Completed 3 laps for our blind driver tonight.
Man, do you choose the blind driver or do you choose the HVAC controller for the IOE? I was going to say the HVAC, but
the Etch-a-Sketch
blind driving
very well.
There's so
Etch-a-Sketch
many. You
is
got blind, you
great.
got
Top
Etch-a-Sketch,
10.
you got-
Top 10 for that Etch-a-Sketch.
You get virtual trophies here. You know, it doesn't really matter. We could give 1 million trophies out.
The
The
bicycle
driver
also?
has to get an honorable mention, man.
Andrew says he made 5 laps, not 3. Sorry, Andrew.
5 laps for
5
Andrew.
laps,
Wow.
Andrew. That's impressive.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
Well, it
Should
just goes
we
to
talk
show-
to him about how traumatized he is after that?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
All right,
bring him
grab
up.
him. Yeah, grab him.
I'll see if I can bring him in here. Andrew Benna, how you feeling?
That was the hardest race I think I have ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about, I mean, what is it even like trying to do this?
It is really, really difficult. And if you I thought that I was a pretty crappy Lemons racer and iRacer. And then I tried doing this. And, I'm pretty proud of my skills after doing that. 5 laps over the course of the hour was something else.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like there were places where you were going fairly well. I mean, you're using the wall to kind of guide you in
Which you have to do, and using that force feedback, my good old Logitech doing me well. Corsair headphones doing me amazing at giving me that great volume to hear when I was off track or not, or in a wall.
Yeah. No, I mean, 5 laps. If you'd have told me that at the beginning, wouldn't have believed you. That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I believe, over $70 raised for blind guide dogs for the blind.
Hey.
An amazing charity helping out, help pay bills, provide essential services to people who I have a whole new level of respect for just being able to get through a day.
Excellent. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's it's hard to do anything without one of your senses. I can't imagine doing a virtual race where you're almost entirely relying on vision to make that happen. So,
And Cameron.
well done.
What was it like for you, Cameron?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Cameron.
But I thought it was well done, except for you, Cameron, as the comment I heard. And I just sort of made a dejected sound.
Oh, well, I thought you did a fantastic job.
5 laps.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know Andrew could not have done it without you. Literally.
Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't. It was a real team effort.
I felt like we really started to get into a rhythm there towards the end. It was unfortunate that on the start of our second lap, we entered a very strange part of the iRacing collision map for Laguna Seca, and we're spiked. We're probably about 30 feet into the air, and that cost us quite a bit of.
I feel like Lemons did a really good job of finding where all of the weird iRacing collision programming is at Laguna Seca tonight. So I think you guys are unfortunate collateral damage.
As Garrett hits the safety truck.
Indeed.
I prefer to think of it as research.
Yes, we were a research vessel, as the kids say now.
YouTube would like a link for the guide dog charity.
I can send a link right now.
Yeah, people on YouTube are saying please put the charity link in the YouTube.
Yeah, so it's guidedogs.com.
Yep, someone did that. Thank you, Ringworm.
Yep. So, if you want to donate just a blanket donation or, really anything because, the dogs still are working constantly and they have a really, really tough job. And I think we kind of goofingly showed just a little bit of that tonight.
Very well done. Very, very well done. Thank you for doing that. I think that was a wonderful addition to this general stupid idea that we came up with that was utterly hilarious. So thank you for participating in that way. And
no, thanks for having me and allowing me to do so.
Excellent. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I know it's late on the East Coast.
Thank you,
we'll let
gentlemen.
get back.
Appreciate you raising awareness for your cause too. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, Ryan.
Absolutely.
All right.
Until next time. Yes.
That was fantastic.
That was
Were the
excellent.
Grits guys in this race? Because there's a picture on the Lemons iRacing League page of a Rock Band drum set and guitar. And
They weren't. They didn't contact me directly, and I should have gone and found them and asked them to be in it. But we are definitely going to be doing this again. This is something that I think needs to be a regular part of all these events. Maybe not every single one of them, but at least once a week, I think.
This is just the beginning of it because people are now building stuff we don't know about yet, and it's going to be good.
So Yoder, you did worse when you actually drove.
We can build like nuclear reactors and stuff. It's going to be awesome.
Pulling the control rod in the Chernobyl reactor would be just the way to control a car.
So Sean, you got a better finish when you didn't actually drive.
I know. It says a lot about my life.
So if we're going to recap this, Sean builds very, very awesome, high-end, accurate sim racing rigs. Sponsors Lemons, who then puts on races for really, really crappy sim racing rigs.
What's the
It makes as much sense as anything.
You apologize for having nice stuff. Is that what it was, Sean?
Yeah, I totally apologize for building nice things.
There you go.
But I will say that in the spirit of Lemons, I did break out the 1991 junkyard chassis, man. The first chassis I ever built is what I'm sitting in right now, and I am not kidding. I'm sitting in a 1987 Hyundai Excel seat.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Oh, well.
I get the spirit.
Man,
So that's 2 hours and 16 minutes of your life you're never going to get back.
That's right. I want to point out that this race was brought to you by Carnies. Why is one of them always licking its lips at me?
Carnies?
Just wanted to get that last sponsor read in there. And again, thank you to our real sponsor, who is not usually licking his lips at me, Sean Yoder and Nemesis Labs.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to be accused of doing that, Eric. I mean, you're a very attractive man. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you. This is taking a weird turn that we
A weird turn? I think it's remained on the weird off-ramp for quite a while.
That's accurate also. Whew, what do you say after that? I think we found Lemon's calling in the iRacing world. Absolutely.
It's gonna get better too. You just know.
Yep.
We're going to see things being used as controllers that we haven't even thought of yet. And it's going to be terrifyingly amazing.
I think a wading pool full of mercury where you detect the resistance in various places. Actually, don't do that, folks. Mercury's poisonous.
At some point, we're going to get somebody using a marital aid. Like that's a given.
Yes. Shake weight.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that didn't happen right away.
Marital aid is really the 1974 way of saying it.
I'm well aware of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Good night, Matthew
People
Cox.
don't
You're
have to be
welcome.
married anymore to use those things.
Someone's going to pull out like 14 mercury switches and then
these days you can be
in their house.
You can be in a domestic partnership and use your cylindrical vibrating device outside of the bounds of the marriage bed.
Yes, NASCAR fan 999. We did have a MIDI keyboard user tonight. That was let me look at here. That was yes, thank you. And here is yes.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'll just put his picture. Here's a picture of his setup for you, NASCAR fan.
Is that a drum machine?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. There's a
so it's actually
rolling in there. Yeah.
Yep. It's legit.
Get it done. Get it done. Little drum and bass. Left, right, left, right, left, right.
Thomas Pyrex says, "My hands hurt and I need a shower now." Totally worth it. Excellent.
The whole time he's driving with a roll and it's just boots and pants and boots and pants.
That's right.
Well, I'm gonna go.
I have a picture of the telemetry from the Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh,
okay.
There we go.
Wow, that's what a race looks like.
Please send that to Ross Bentley, please, please. Oh, either Ross Bentley or oh god, there's oh god, never mind, I'm drawing a blank.
that's it. That's the high point. There's nothing better than that.
We might as well end it there.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bartender stagger and he surely had his share. Let's have another drink, we can't go home, it's too darn drunk out there. Let's have another drink, we can't go home, it's too darn drunk out